alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. In Portugal, Porto have also shared heartfelt condolences to Jota and Silva's family and friends. The club said they're in shock and deep sorrow. Jota's final ever game was for Portugal last month, coming off the bench against Spain before his side lifted the Nations League trophy. The president of the Portuguese Football Federation has released a statement as well. Pedro Praneca said all of Portuguese football is completely devastated by the loss of both Jota and Silva. He called the Liverpool forward much more than an amazing player, saying he was an extraordinary person with an infectious joy. Finally, the Premier League says the pair's passing is tragic. The league added that football has lost a champion in Jota who will be forever missed. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Coming up today, we'll take a look at Chelsea's Moise Caicedo. We'll discuss a potential move to Manchester United for Ollie Watkins, and we'll look back at a busy opening day at the Women's Euros. However, earlier today we heard the very tragic news that Liverpool striker Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of just 28. And tributes have, of course, been pouring in throughout the day here on talkSPORT.
The thing with Liverpool is we're not just a team, he's an honorary Scouser. We've lost one of his own.
He was one of the greatest players that I've seen play for Wolves.
Everybody in Portugal is really shocked and devastated for what had happened.
Heartbreaking. I was shocked, like all of us.
It feels like you know him, but you don't know him, if that makes sense. You just want to know, you just want to try and support, let people know that, you know, the family know that everyone in the world's going to be thinking about them.
I had the pleasure a few times being around the training ground, talking to him, listening about his career, how he was, and he's just really humble. The Wolves fans loved him.
He was one of the greatest players that I've seen play for Wolves.
These players mean something to people and they become icons, and to see his life cut so short it's just horrible.
If he was injured, we wanted him back. If he was on the pitch, we thought he'd score.
He will be remembered really fondly because he's created some magic moments in the memories of those Liverpool fans.
His song was one of the ones that was sung the loudest and the longest every week on the car. And that was because there was a bond there. That's because we saw something in him.
I'm completely numb, I'm still shaking, because just can't believe,
And more than 2 football players, we lost 2 young guys who has a huge talent that loves what they do.
He was our number 20. and we won our 20th league title this year. I implore the club to retire that shirt. I think it'd be the right thing to do.
You'll never walk alone. You're always in our hearts. Never forget you. Never forget.
Just devastating news. Liverpool forward Diogo Jota has tragically died in a car crash at the age of just 28, along with his brother Andre Silva. The accident took place in the Spanish province of Zamora. That was in the early hours of this morning. He leaves behind 3 children as well as his wife, who he married just 11 days ago. talkSPORT's Merseyside reporter Matt Jones spent the day outside Anfield and has been speaking to Liverpool fans following today's horrific news.
Gave play, been here for 5 years now. He's coming on to his 5th, 6th season, and he's showing everything about the club. He's there for flowers. That's what every Liverpool fan's doing. Clearly, he's bringing flowers, showing the respect. Feels like a nightmare to see him. It's crazy. But obviously, condolences to his family, his close ones, and that. And what a player, obviously, how good he was.
Everyone's saying here number 20 needs to be retired now. The shirt needs to be retired. It's such a massive part of Liverpool's history alone, but I think it'd be the highest tribute we could give him as a player, as a club. Everyone knows what it's like to lose someone. It feels like we've lost one of our own.
Just absolutely horrific news we woke up with this morning. Most of us turned on talkSPORT and heard Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor tell the nation something that you just never ever want to hear any time of anyone's life, let alone someone so young with so much in front of him. Darren Bent, of course, alongside. But you and I spoke ever so briefly this morning. When I heard the news, I texted you almost to say that I didn't think that was it wasn't real. Someone approached me in the street actually and said, "Have you heard the news?" And I was like, I'd check it if I were you. I'd check it on a website. And then, of course, you and I spoke, and just insane news, right? You never really know what's on that page when you turn it. You never know what's going to happen that day when you wake up.
No, I mean, it was my accountant who's a Liverpool fan, big Liverpool fan. He sent it to me quite early, and I looked at it and thought, what, like, is this a kind of, because you first thing you think is this a wind up, and then I put on Sky News, and then you see the devastation. I mean, first and foremost, thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family in this tough time. But it's just one of them where I think, and I know it's affected so many people, you've heard the tributes, but when you are part of that community, and of course I was for a long time playing football, even though I didn't know him, we've never crossed paths, you feel it. Like, you really feel it. Like, it made me feel a little bit sick this morning, if I'm honest, because it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. As I said, I've never met him. We've never crossed paths. I'm quite a bit older than him, but just because someone from that footballing community passes in such a tragic way, it affects us all. But yeah, it's devastation. I mean, the people at Liverpool, that football club, I do think, though, football does it really well. I think when someone passes in the football community, I think everybody comes together and they do it really well. You already seen other clubs putting out posts that he had no affiliation to, pictures of him playing against that club. I do think football comes together really well and handles it really well, but again, there's no words that you can say or describe to kind of sum up the emotions of, certainly of his family, his friends, people that are really closely associated to him, his teammates. It's just such a tough period, I say, because as I said, there's people who I know that were messaging me, and they can't believe it. I mean, young children, just got married a couple of weeks ago as well. You just never know, as you said perfectly well earlier. So, just as I said, thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family.
Yeah, it's incredibly sad news when anyone passes away, right? But you just feel when it's someone with the whole world at his feet, when he's just been through one of the happiest moments of his life. He's got 3 young kids as well. So everything seems to have been absolute perfect for him over the last 11 days ago. He got married as well, and I was going to the station this morning. My wife was driving, and we put on talkSPORT. I was listening. I think it was Jim White I was listening to, and my wife doesn't know anything about football, so I was explaining how tragic it was. And the first thing she said was his poor mum. And we talked about his family and his wife, and rightly so. All of a sudden, you just remember his mum's lost her 2 boys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just devastation beyond belief, isn't it? It's heart-wrenching, it's heartbreaking. And, you know, there are no words. And as always, when anyone in any community, be it football, we love sport, right? But when anyone passes away, you're right, football does it so well. I always feel, having listened to talkSPORT and been a presenter on talkSPORT for however many years, that there are so many people out there that felt as though they would have known him, or felt as though Wolves fans and, you know, fans of Portugal and, of course, Liverpool, they would have felt as though they knew him.
Yeah.
And it's a real tough time. And what it does, I personally find that it brings back memories of people that you've lost that are really close to you. So it's not just the passing of someone maybe you idolised and you looked up to and you're familiar with and wore the red of Liverpool, the gold of Wolves, but someone that you can associate just how devastating news like that can be. And I think it's so important on days like this where we always have the option for people to phone up and just have a chat, because some people are listening to the show and they might be in a dark place.
Yeah.
You know, they might have lost someone close to them, and I just think it's one of our great values here at talkSPORT that we have the option for people to phone up and talk about their memories of Diogo Jota and talk about what a great player he was, not just Liverpool players. If you're, Portuguese and you're listening, or if you're a Wolves fan, or just a football fan, and maybe you just want to talk, then we're always here to take that call. I think that's really important. So if you do want to talk about what he meant to you, or you can understand just how painful it is because maybe you're going through something similar, then we are always here. 03717 223344. It's just so tough to deal with things like this, especially if you're on your own as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doubly important, obviously, again, as you just said it there, that you don't forget about his brother, because of course we understand that Diogo Jota is a Premier League footballer, idolised around the world, but he wasn't the only person in there. So I think it's always important that you remember his brother was obviously tragically passed with him as well. But as you said there, people come together. Like you said, talkSPORT are great if you want to pick up the phone and have a conversation. But football has this quality of having a blanket around it when something happens. I mean, some of the tragic situations and some that could have been a lot worse, but they weren't. I mean, I go back to the Christian Eriksen scenario. I know he didn't pass, but remember, football got completely behind him. Fabrice Muamba before that, where he was close. I mean, whenever something tragic happens, people, certainly in football, in sport, come together and really make it a more of a comfortable place where you're not on your own. So if you want to grieve, you've got people there that are willing to grieve with you as well. So just a really, really tough day for everyone concerned, really, because as you said, that's such an important part about his mum losing her two sons. I mean,
it's insane, isn't it? I mean, what the whole family are going through, and the kids as well.
Devastation.
And not some. I think two of the kids will probably, fingers crossed, if that helps at all, but they'll be too young to understand the devastation it's going to cause throughout their family. But there'll be times, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever, when all of a sudden it hits certain members of his family.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, it never ends.
No, when you look back at old pictures.
Yeah.
And I always think for the young kids about obviously losing their father, losing their uncle as well. Like, where are they? It's going to be tough, you're right. But as I said, you hope, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know him, but people that I know that do know him talk about obviously really close family knit group, which is well.
Yeah.
I think in times like this, you need that. People that are closest to you, that's when you lean on each other, and that's where you really come together, because situations like this, I mean, there's no explanation for it, is there? There's no easy way around it, because you have, unfortunately, it's there now, it's happened, so... And as I said, it's just tough time for everybody.
Well, listen, we won't take our finger off the button throughout the 3 hours, as you would understand, right? It's just an awful time for just all football fans and everyone connected to such a horrific incident. So if you want to have your say, if you want to share any memories, the tributes, by the way, have been pouring in throughout the day on talkSPORT, have been fantastic. They really have. So if you want to keep that going, then we'll be here. 03717 223344. It's difficult, I'll be honest with you, it's difficult to do a show when you get just any horrific news. And we've sadly been on air, Bent and I, through some real lows throughout, not just football, but throughout. We've lost some real sporting giants over the years. You and I have been on air, not necessarily together, but when I've been doing Sports Bar and you've been doing other shows as well. But one thing I think is quite important as well is that with the lows, there has to be a little element of, okay, let's try and not lift the mood. That's the wrong expression. But I think sometimes people need a little bit of happiness, just to take their mind off it for a moment. So the next 3 hours, we will of course go over this in as much detail, and we'll talk about it in as much way as we can to help people through it. And we'd love to hear from you. But there will be other parts of the show where we'll maybe just move on and then come back to it, because I think it's so important. Me personally, Bentley, when I lost my dad, you turn on the radio, you turn on the telly, just to get away from it, just for 5 minutes, and then you go back, then you grieve and so on. So we will be across it from, we have been since the news broke this morning, and we'll continue to deliver every single news that's related to this as soon as anything breaks. So make sure you keep it with talkSPORT, and more importantly, make sure you pick up the phone. And if you want just to talk to someone today, even if you don't come on air, we've got people working on the phones that will take your call. 03717 223344 is the number to dial. Now, it's day 2 of England's second test against India. There has been a wicket. I'm led to believe it's a big wicket as well. Sam Ellard is watching for talkSPORT.
Finally, England have the wicket of Shubman Gill. India 574 for 8. Shubman Gill's remarkable innings comes to an end on 270 runs. Josh Tongue, the bowler, a pretty tame way to go out after an incredible innings. He tried to roll the wrist. A short ball came his way, but all he could do is pick out the fielder at square leg. Ollie Pope taking a good catch. But this is an innings that will go down in their history books. The new India captain here at Edgbaston out for 270. The only surprise now is that India are still batting. Surely the declaration can't be too far away. At the crease now for India, Akashdeep past 6. Mohammad Siraj yet to get off the mark. India 574 for 8.
Thanks as always, Sam. Keep your calls coming in, 03717223344. We are, of course, reacting to the news and taking your calls on. Just a horrific day for sport on the day that Diego Jota has tragically passed away at the age of just 28. Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. That number again, 03717223344. I know lots of you want to phone up, and we'll try and get as many of you on air today, I promise you. Still to come, we'll have the very latest from the Lionesses camp ahead of their first game at the Women's Euros. Just quickly, West Ham have rejected a £50 million bid from Spurs for Mohamed Kudus. And it's day 4 of Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Got to say, Novak Djokovic is looking pretty good on his way into the third round of the men's singles at Wimbledon for a record 19th time. No signs of the stomach problems from Tuesday. Dropped just 5 games against Britain's Dan Evans, who says he was always on the back foot. Wildcard Jack Pennington-Jones and Arthur Ferry have bowed out, but heading on to number 1 court very shortly is the British number 1 Jack Draper. It's easy to forget this is only the 4th time Draper's been in the main draw at Wimbledon, and he hasn't yet made it to the third round. This time he's got to get past the 2017 runner-up Marin Cilic, who himself has to win a grass court match against a top 5 player for the first time.
Thanks, Lisa. Belgium, they're taking on Italy in the Women's Euros. That's from 5 p.m. Ian Abrahams has got the team news. Afternoon, Moose.
Good afternoon. Italy are in their 13th European Championships. There's only been 14 of them. They hold the record with Norway of that, but they haven't been out the group stage for 12 years. They name a side that is completely made up of players who play in Italy. As for Belgium, it's their 3rd appearance in a major tournament. They're ranked 20 in the world, 7 places below the Italians. They have 4 players who play in the WSL. Janice Kamen and Sari Keys, who both play for Leicester. Justine van Hingerman, who plays for Everton, and Amber Tiziak, the West Ham defender as well. Starts in Sion at 5 o'clock, the same group, of course, as Portugal and Spain, who play later.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The new Big Arch is here. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Thanks, Moose. Now, Liverpool fans and, of course, football fans, we're hearing your tributes to Diogo Jota after today's horrific news that he passed away at the age of just 28. James is a Wolves fan, joins us this afternoon. Hi, James.
Hi, good afternoon, lads. Tragic news, what's happened, you know. He was a lovely guy. Well, my story is that obviously he came to Wolves, absolute legend, scored some fantastic goals. Oh, and then what's happened there? Hello, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. Yes, I don't know what happened there. Sorry. So, absolute legend, and my brother lived on the same road as where he was before he moved to the wonderful city of Liverpool. But he was always a gentle guy. He used to, walk his dog. Him and his wife used to walk his dog past our house, and obviously being Indian, we'd give him curry and what have you, you know. And he was just like always, he'd be very mild-mannered, very quiet. And his wife was you get opposites attract, and she was the noisy one, you know. And he got us the tickets for when Wolves, we played Watford in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley in 2019 under Nuno. And he got the tickets for us. And like I said, look, talk as you see. And the guy was mild, gentle, and we're going to miss him. You know, there was some talk that he might come back to Wolves, but obviously it ain't going to happen now, you know. But, like I said, wonderful, fantastic, mild-mannered. And he'd have 5 minutes with you, you know, and chat to you, and his wife would as well. And to lose somebody like that who's a fantastic player, and it must be horrible for the, like you said earlier on, it must be horrible for the mom and the dad. Yeah. God, rest in peace, Jota.
James, thank you for your call, James.
You almost forget about his time at Wolves, where he was. That partnership, Jimenez and Adama Traore, that 3 under Nuno, they were such. I mean, that's why they finished in Europe. I think it was at 2 years on the bounce.
Yeah.
I mean, what a player! I know, I get it.
Listen, he was a great player at Liverpool. Right? I know he had
some of his numbers.
He had injuries as well, right?
Yeah.
But he could easily play down the middle or out wide.
I think he was their second best natural finisher.
Yeah, I was listening to something this morning. Who's on the? I can't remember. It was a Liverpool reporter. I think it was on the Breakfast Show. It might have been Jim White. And that person said, as a finisher, he thought they were better than Mohamed Salah.
Yes, I'd probably opt just to put Salah just at the top by him.
But the fact that he's in that conversation, you're talking about one of the best in the world, Mohamed Salah, to have both of those names, I mean, that just tells you what a great goal scorer he was.
And me being an Arsenal fan, he used to absolutely terrorise Arsenal every time he played. Goal all the time. always.
Great player. Tom is a Blackburn Rovers fan, joins us now. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Andy. Cheers, mate, for having me on.
Our pleasure.
Just devastating news today. You know, I completely agree with what Benty said earlier about it reverberating around the football world. You know, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but just being a football fan, and I'm actually playing six-a-side tonight, and just being such a game and watching all the Premier League games and seeing his name for Liverpool, and seemed like a really nice lad, great player. Devastating him passing away like that. Tragic circumstances. Such a young family. It's just so sad.
Yeah, thanks,
well
Tom.
said.
It's in fact, let's take another call before I speak. Daz is a Liverpool fan. Hi, Daz.
Hi guys, listen, thank you for your kind words about Diego Jota. I know, just what a player. I've been trying to find a goal he scored last season to tell you guys, and I can't find it. There's a goal where he brought it down. They had a corner. Some team had a corner in the Premier League, and they brought the ball and they got cleared out, and then he booed it right in the air. And I don't think he was the one who brought it down, then passed it off to Diaz. And just that's the first thing I thought about this morning, about that goal. And you guys have been really kind and said some fantastic things about him. He's just a graceful player. It's just absolute graceful player. I'm hopefully going to get down on the train tomorrow and show my respects. I was there the other week when the parade was on, and I just thought I'd call you guys and say, I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm 52 this year. I've been a Liverpool fan since I'm 6 years old. Proper fan I am. And the thing I loved about Diego Jota was whenever he came on as a sub, whenever he started, you just knew he'd give you 100%, like a James Milner. You know, he was just an honest player, and he was just a great player. And he never scored a rubbish goal. Every goal he scored was fantastic. Sorry, I'm sorry for writing on, guys.
No, you carry on, Daz. I was going to ask you as a Liverpool fan, there have been suggestions about the possible retirement of his shirt. Divides opinion. What do you make of that?
All day long. I don't care what they say, anyone says. The thing is, don't get it wrong, there's two ways you look at it. If Slot was to give the number to another player, would he really want to wear it?
Mm.
And the other side I say is retire it and just make it, just make it a number what people don't forget. And I didn't realise till one of the Liverpool fans on the station earlier said that obviously I didn't click straight away. 20 Premier League trophies. And his shirt was 20. I knew his shirt was 20, and that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. And then, I was in the coffee shop this morning, and a friend came over who was a Chelsea fan, and he came over and told me, and as you guys said earlier, as you said, Jason, and you, Darren, earlier, you both said, I can't believe it. And he's one of these players. Do you know what I mean? He was just a good. I mean, I didn't know him. Never met him, but I went to Villa. I sat in the Villa end against Liverpool last season. He came on as sub, and I just thought, God, no one can get the ball off him. He gives you everything, and he was tackling, he was jumping into tackles, he was winning the ball back, and that's the kind of player. That's why Liverpool fans loved him, because 100%. Sorry for running.
No, Dad, listen. On any other day, I'll take you defence. You called me Jason, but today I'll let it slide.
Sorry, mate. I know Jason's the same. Sorry. Sorry, guys. My mind's not with it today.
Listen. On any other day, I'll say I'll take offence. Today I'll let it slide. All right. Listen.
Andy, I've spoke to you over the years. I've been a talkSPORT listener from day one.
I know you have.
And I've spoke to you from guys from years and years and years. You guys and Tunde took the mick out of me for when I said Carroll and Crouch should play up front for England. Yeah, that was like 15 years ago.
Oh, wow, you have listened. Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah,
well,
sorry.
Don't apologise. Listen, I really Darren says right. I really appreciate your time. Listen, it's a tough day for everyone, but especially Liverpool fans. So, Daz, I hope you're okay today, and I really appreciate your time to phone us up.
You're a legend. You're an absolute legend. Second funniest man on talkSPORT.
I'll take that. I won't ask who the first is, but I'll take that. Daz, have a good day.
Mate, bye-bye.
If that's at all possible, I'm guessing it's not today, but you understand what I'm talking about. There's been another wicket in the cricket. England against India. Sam Ellard can tell us more. Hi, Sam.
Hi Andy, India 574 for 9, Akashdeep gone for 9. Delivery tossed up by Shoaib Bashir, tries to go big, the batsman, and Ben Duckett, a wide long on, takes the catch after a big shot from Akashdeep down the ground. So India have Siraj and Krishna at the crease, still batting, no declaration yet, can't be far away. England searching for one more wicket, India 581 for 9.
Thanks, Sam. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. When we come back, we'll take more of your calls. 03717 22 33 44.
Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28. The Liverpool forward was involved in a car crash alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
To drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent alongside. Still to come, we'll have the very latest from the Lioness camp ahead of their first game at the Women's Euros. Now, earlier today, we heard the very tragic news that Liverpool forward Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of 28. And as well as being a brilliant player, obviously, you may not know, he was a very handy FIFA player. Let's find out more from one of his old FIFA teammates, football content creator, the Master Bucks, Jake Buckley joins us. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Cheers, Andy. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for staying up late. You're in Australia, right?
That is true. It is about what I am, but no, happy to jump on.
Well, it's very kind of you. Listen, before we talk about, I know you played with Diogo quite a bit. Before we talk about that, just tell us about, how you found out. And, everyone's just phoned up talkSPORT and told us how they felt when they heard the devastating news. How did you find out?
Well, it was about maybe 5 or 6 p.m. in Australia when the news dropped, and obviously I saw the post just on social media saying, Vale Diogo Jota, 1996, 2025, and you just, you're in a total just state of disbelief. Like I was sitting across the table from my partner, who I'm getting married to later this year, and I just literally couldn't say anything. And I found out later that he only got married himself only about a week ago, and that's all I could think about was just like his wife and. Yeah, it's just tragic. Doesn't even describe it, mate. Like, it's terrible.
Listen, tell us a bit about your relationship with him because you played with Diogo. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, we met in a FIFA tournament back in probably 2019. He was in Shanghai. He was with Wolves at the time, and he was on a pre-season tour. And I got a funny story about him actually. Like we go play this tournament. I hadn't met him before at this stage, and I thought, I'll be nice. I'll give him some tips since we're teaming up together. And so I'm like, hey, mate, if you're going to shoot in the game, finesse shots are great. So press this button down when you shoot. It'll be told. He just looks at me, just gives me a wink, says, yep, sweet, mate. Mate, he was the best player in the tournament by far. I'm supposed to be the FIFA guy. He's carrying me the entire tournament. He's just an absolute solid bloke. He was completely down to earth. And, sometimes when you work with footballers at these things, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they might just not be feeling it, which is totally fine. But he was an absolutely amazing bloke, great person, showed genuine interest. He was happy to be there. You know what I mean?
Is that one of the positives you could name about him? Because as you said there, he did play professional football, obviously famous all around the world, but he was down to earth and he was almost like everybody else.
He really was. Like, you don't think you're sitting across from a Premier League superstar. You're just sitting across to a guy. Like, he was only a couple of years younger than me. We were having a great chat, and we just spent an amazing afternoon just in China playing FIFA. It was just what a life. It was just absolutely incredible bloke to sit next to. And even if I only got to meet him a handful of times, and I really genuinely treasure that afternoon that we got to spend together for a very, very long time.
When he played FIFA, did he ever play himself?
Well, he did, yeah. He was obviously, as I said, he was quite decent at the game. He's probably better than me. He definitely was better than me because at one point he was the top player in the world, I think, on Ultimate Team. And he actually was given a card, I think, by EA Sports, which was very nice. Basically, a version of himself with all the top stats, so 99 rated. And he would constantly jump on, Twitter or Twitch, should I say, streaming and playing with himself in his own team. And, that was always quite a joy to watch.
For him to be the number one player in the world, as you said, and he was the best in that tournament, how many hours do you have to dedicate to that to become that good at it?
Oh, well, I mean, I would say to be the absolute best in the world, to win at the time, I think it's 30 games in a row undefeated is absolutely insane. I can't imagine the amount of hours he poured in, but I feel like when he did hit that rank, I think he was unfortunately injured. So I think he had a bit of spare time on his hands. So he got in quite a fair bit of practice, clearly. I wouldn't have been shocked if he was playing legitimately, if he'd have racked up thousands of hours genuinely, because it seems like, he was very, very passionate about this. This was genuinely a hobby for him, and it's something he embraced and he shared with everyone that followed him.
Jake, can I just ask, sorry, when you say he was the best in the world, do you mean he was the best in the world?
I mean, okay, well, he was technically the best in the world for, I would say, a weekend. And what I mean by that is there are these leaderboards, right, in the game, where you can see who's won the most amount of games, who's got the most amount of points. For one weekend where he was injured, and again, he probably just had nothing better to do, he said, you know what, I'm going to go for this. And he got it. He was the number one ranked player in the game. I think back in, it's probably FIFA 21. I could be wrong about that. But for a weekend, he was the number one in the world on the leaderboards, which for a professional football player, you're already pretty decent at football. You can't be good at FIFA as well. It's just not fair.
Is it unusual, or is it, you know, when a lot of footballers or even ex-footballers ply their trade at something else, golf or tennis, they've always got great hand-eye coordination. Have you noticed that other footballers are very good at FIFA, or is he just a bit of a freak?
Oh, well, he surely has to be a bit of a unique scenario, because the fact that he was so good, the fact that in this tournament that we played, I mean, you know, some of the other content creators that were part of this tournament were professionals in their own right. They literally played the game for a living, and he was genuinely better than them. He was seriously talented at this game. And yeah, there are a lot of other footballers that, you know, once they pick it up, they're also quite good. But I would say Diogo was very special.
Did you continue to have contact with him? Because obviously I'm a gamer, and obviously not to yours level, but of course you have friends on obviously PlayStation or PC. Did you ever play any, like, I don't know, friendly games with him?
Oh, we followed each other back on social media. We had a couple of chats here and there. We did jump on during COVID. We jumped on and we played a couple of games, because during lockdown, I think he started up his Twitch channel. And we played a game or two there. But no, I think he was, at the same time, we had a little bit of contact, but he was obviously busy off winning Premier Leagues and everything like that, which is fair enough. You do you.
So, listen, I know it's the middle of the night there. Appreciate you staying up for us, and hopefully we'll chat again, but in happier circumstances. But for the time being, thanks so much for coming on, Jake.
No, thank you very much. Cheers, Andy. Cheers, Darren.
Thanks, pal. I didn't know he was, for a weekend, the best in the world. Crazy. That is obscene. How many people play that? Thousands.
Yeah, well, I remember one of my old teammates, David Myler. He was a player at Sunderland, and he was FIFA as well, and he was like one of the best in the world. But these guys are just like scary.
I'm surprised you played it, right?
Yeah, FIFA. No, I ain't played FIFA for years.
No, but you get addicted to stuff.
Yeah.
So you went from when I've known you, it's trainers, darts, and now paddle.
No, trainers has always been there.
Okay, but so I'm not poo-pooing your trainer collection.
Please don't.
But after paddle, what's it going to be? Do you know yet?
No, paddle all the way.
It's going to be paddle forever now, like it was for darts.
No, I still play darts.
Oh, fine. Okay, I need to get you into a bit of golf. There has been another wicket at Edgbaston. It's the end of India's innings, actually. Sam Ellar can tell us more.
Finally comes to an end. Feels a long time ago, but it was yesterday morning at 10:30 that Ben Stokes asked India to bat first. Nearly 2 days on, 150 overs later, and with 587 runs on the board, India have been bowled out. Final wicket to go. Mohammad Siraj for 8, trying to take the spinner Shoaib Bashir back down the ground. He was stumped by Jamie Smith. Siraj goes for 8. The innings, though, all about one man, and that is India captain Shubman Gill. A remarkable innings, 269 runs to his name, the India captain putting up the goods for his team. So India have been bowled out 587. In about 10 minutes time, the England batsmen will come out to have a bat, and then have about an hour and a half to get through this evening. India bowled out first innings for 587.
Thanks, Sam. You can keep your tributes coming in for Diogo Jota, who has sadly passed away at the age of 28. We'd love to hear from you this afternoon. 03717 223344. This is Drive on talkSPORT. It's Joel talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent is here. Still to come, we'll be asking if Moises Caicedo is the... Are you Caicedo or Caicedo?
Caicedo.
Caicedo is the best midfielder in the Premier League. Just quickly, Tyson Fury has hinted he will fight Alexander Usyk in a trilogy bout at Wembley next April. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram page, but his last post says April the 18th, 2026, Wembley Stadium, the trilogy. Contact for tickets.
Maybe, but I mean, he understands.
I mean, he was retired up until about 2 minutes ago, wasn't he?
And also, as well, I mean, that might well happen, but he might not be fighting for any belts because Dubois might have more.
Yeah. I didn't really understand that. Everton have moved closer to reaching an agreement with Villarreal over signing French under-21 striker. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Is it Tieno Barry? Is that how you pronounce it? I think so.
His name is.
It's day 4 of Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Just listening into the coin toss ahead of the match between Jack Draper and Marin Cilic, the great British hope, looking to book a place in the third round for the first time in his 4th Wimbledon. He's taking on the 2017 runner-up Marin Cilic, one of a rare breed to win a Grand Slam title when he took the US Open in 2014, a time that was dominated by the big 4 in the sport. Over on centre court, women's former world #1 Iga Świątek was surging ahead, but she's been hauled back by the USA's Katie McNally, who has just broken to take a 6-5 lead in the first set. And the defending champion Barbora Krejcikova has been taken to a decider by Caroline Dolehide of the USA.
Thank you, Lisa. Right, the Women's Euros, they're officially underway with the first games taking place yesterday. England, of course, will get their campaign started on Saturday. They face France. A reminder that talkSPORT will bring you live commentary of every single England and Wales game. Let's get more on this now and look ahead to that game, as we're joined by our England women's reporter, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Hello, Courtney.
Good afternoon. How are you both?
I'm very well. I mean, some people say that coming on our show is an unforgettable experience, but for you it's a forgettable one, right?
I knew this was coming, and let me set my stall out. I'm bad at social media. I had to do the voiceover 6 times, but today you're the only show I'm doing. You're the best one, so you're going to get a special mention on my Instagram tomorrow. So don't fret.
You think about that mention, because it's time now to get the very latest from Switzerland with our friends at McDonald's.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Okay, we forgive you. Courtney, listen, thanks so much for coming on. We've got lots to talk to you about. I know you've been speaking to Esme Morgan today. We'll be hearing some of that a bit later on. What sort of mood was she in ahead of England's opener this weekend?
Yeah, she was in fantastic spirits. We were talking about how the setup is in the camp in terms of the stuff they've got downstairs going on. They've got a lot of activities. She was saying that she's been winning the basketball competition that they've got going between themselves. She's also quite well known for crafting, so they've got a little bracelet station down there. But actually, really interestingly, something that I didn't know, she's actually doing a degree at the moment in sports and exercise science, so she's quite busy. At a major tournament and also writing an essay, so she's certainly a busy woman, but no, she looked in great spirits.
Courtney, I want to talk about the game yesterday. One of them, the Switzerland game versus Norway. I thought Switzerland started off the game incredibly well, and I could only see one winner. I don't know what happened second half, but Norway came out, got the result. Did that result shock you?
It's a difficult one, because I think you'd probably say that you'd say Norway in that game are potentially the favourites in any other situation, but I think I mentioned it yesterday, with a home tournament for Switzerland, you're always looking at that and thinking that will give them a little bit extra, a bit better impetus, and I was the same. I thought Switzerland were fantastic in the first half, especially down both wings. They're excellent, but as you say, Norway come back. Obviously the mistake as well in terms of the own goal wasn't overly helpful for Switzerland, so yeah, I was a little bit surprised in that sense, but I think Switzerland gave themselves a good showing in the first half, and that's probably enough to show them that they can continue through the group and obviously try and qualify for the quarterfinals.
Courtney, that own goal, I've watched it a number of times. It's really, really poor defensively work, because when I watch it now, I don't understand how she's managed to put the ball in her own net when she was in the perfect position.
No, I don't, and I think you're right in terms of maybe you think, well, it's a good ball and it's not too bad, it's half decent, but you're right. I mean, I can't really talk in terms of defending, but in terms of like the basics, in terms of your body positioning, having to clear the ball, making sure you're clearing it, with the right foot. In terms of that position, she looked all set just to clear it, and almost from that position, then you're right in terms of the body position, the way she's contacting the ball, pretty much does everything wrong. And we know in major tournaments that those are the fine margins. That could potentially be, one of the reasons. It's not just all on that goal, is it? But one of the reasons why Switzerland don't get out of the group, it's going to be very tough. But yeah, from a defensive point of view, it definitely didn't look good, did it?
It certainly didn't. Let's talk about Spain. They're in action against Portugal. That's over on talkSPORT 2 at 8 p.m. Now, Spain, of course, are many people's favourites. Do you fully expect them to get a result tonight, go off to a winning start?
Yeah, I do, and especially when you look earlier in the Nations League and the demolition of Portugal that England did at Wembley. I think it might be a similar situation in terms of Spain. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Bonmatí, because we know she was, almost a week ago now. I think she was only just discharged from hospital with viral meningitis. So how fit is she? How much of a part can she play in the game? One Ballon d'Or winner, but you've obviously got another one in Alexia Putellas, and not just her. Sama Pariuelo is another player that I absolutely love. She's got raw pace. Used to be a 400-metre runner. Obviously got the skills as well. One of the Barcelona players that loves putting the ball in the back of the net. But all over the pitch, similar to England really. Spain, they've got so much quality, so much talent, and I fully expect a resounding win from Spain tonight.
Courtney, I've got to obviously now ask you for a few words. I mean, we all heard the tragic news earlier about Diogo Jota. I know that you spent a couple of years certainly up at Liverpool. I mean, first and foremost, when did you hear about it, and what do you want to say?
Yeah, heard about it this morning, was really shocked, and it's one of those messages that you sort of see on your phone. It makes your stomach sink, it makes you feel sick, and as you say, was part of that club, lucky enough to be a Liverpool player, and all my condolences go out to everyone at the club, but especially obviously his wife. The fact they only got married 10 days ago, it's so sad, leaving behind the fact a wife, family, 3 children, and obviously in terms of his brother as well, passing away in as well. So you think about that side of the family, not just to lose one child or nephew or brother or son, but you're losing 2. So I can't imagine how difficult and horrible this news is. And as I say, just send out all my best wishes and condolences to everyone involved, because it was really tragic news this morning.
It really was. Listen, thanks so much for coming on. Just before we let you go, just a final word about England at the weekend. How excited are you? How are the girls at the moment? Are you feeling that, as we're edging closer to kick-off, that maybe there's a few more nerves in the air or not?
No, not so much. Not from what I've seen in camp. They're all very excited. Obviously, we'll have the sort of pre-match press conferences tomorrow as well. So I think that'll give us a more of an indication of where, not necessarily where the girls are at, but Serena Wiegman, the Lionesses manager, especially, not had chance to catch up with her yet. So it'll be good to talk to her tomorrow. But I think when you're in the tournament, you want to try and maybe get going as quick as possible. So the fact that they've got to wait a little bit longer, maybe nerves might set in at some point. But as it stands, they look really confident and really excited to play.
Courtney, thanks for coming on. I'm looking forward to seeing that post tomorrow on Instagram.
Don't worry, it'll be there, okay. And I'll tag you in it, both of you.
Okay. Listen, thank you as always. Wonderful work. We'll speak to you in a minute. Thanks, Courtney. There you go, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk doing great work for talkSPORT. That was all thanks to our friends at McDonald's.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Now, I don't know if you're listening to the breakfast show this morning. There was a moment where they were discussing Ollie Watkins and a potential move to Manchester United, and your mate Gabby Agbonlahor said it'd be a backward step for Ollie. So we'll take calls on exactly that when we come back. 03717 223344.
Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28. The Liverpool forward was involved in a car crash alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. In Portugal, Porto have also shared heartfelt condolences to Jota and Silva's family and friends. The club said they're in shock and deep sorrow. Jota's final ever game was for Portugal last month, coming off the bench against Spain before his side lifted the Nations League trophy. The president of the Portuguese Football Federation has released a statement as well. Pedro Praneca said all of Portuguese football is completely devastated by the loss of both Jota and Silva. He called the Liverpool forward much more than an amazing player, saying he was an extraordinary person with an infectious joy. Finally, the Premier League says the pair's passing is tragic. The league added that football has lost a champion in Jota who will be forever missed. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
Good afternoon, welcome back. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Earlier today we heard the tragic news that Liverpool striker Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of just 28. And of course tributes have been pouring in throughout the day here on talkSPORT.
The thing with Liverpool is we're not just a team, he's an honorary Scouser. We've lost one of his own.
He was one of the
greatest players that I've seen play for Wolves.
Everybody in Portugal is really, really shocked and devastated for what had happened.
Heartbreaking. I was shocked, like all of us.
It feels like you know him, but you don't know him, if that makes sense. You just want to know, you just want to try and support, let people know that, you know, the family know that everyone in the world's going to be thinking about them.
I had the pleasure a few times being around the training ground, talking to him, listening about his career, how he was, and he's just really, really humble. The Wolves fans loved him.
He was one of the greatest players that I've seen play for Wolves.
These players mean something to people, and they become icons, and to see his life cut so short is just horrible.
If he was injured, we wanted him back. If he was on the pitch, we thought he'd score.
He will be remembered really fondly because he's created some magic moments in the memories of those Liverpool fans.
His song was one of the ones that was sung the loudest and the longest every week on the car. And that was because there was a bond there. That's because we saw something in him.
I'm completely numb, I'm still shaking, because just can't believe,
And more than 2 football players, we lost 2 young guys who has a huge talent that loves what they do.
He was our number 20. And we won our 20th league title this year. I implore the club to retire that shirt. I think it'd be the right thing to do.
You'll never walk alone. You're always in our hearts. Never forget you. Never forget.
And of course, talkSPORT will continue to pay tribute to Diogo Jota throughout the afternoon and evening, and you're more than welcome to join us as well. 03717 223344. While we were playing that audio, I was looking at our screens. If people are watching on YouTube, they'll see some wonderful pictures of Diogo Jota throughout his Liverpool career. There was one that came up actually, and it was his wife, and he was holding one of their kids. I'm guessing the youngest one. It looked incredibly young. On the pitch at the end of last season, obviously celebrating the title. It's pictures like that hit you really hard, because it's not just Liverpool that have lost a son, if you like. It's not just Liverpool that have lost one of their top players, but you're talking about a husband, you're talking about a father, you're talking about someone's son as well. I mean, it's just devastation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough, and we spoke about it before. It's just tough for all concerned, as you said there. There's people that we've not even thought about that you think, oh my God, it affects them as well. And I mean, I love hearing from people that know him personally, not maybe so much in the footballing world, because I know how he was thought of in the footballing world, but we heard a little package from somebody saying that him walking his dog and him popping in the local shops, they're the type of people I always think, if they've got good stuff to say about you, that says you're a good person, because your teammates, you're with them every day. But that person where he hasn't got to be nice to this person, but he stops to have a conversation with the guy who's delivering his food, or he's going to the local shop to get a coffee, they speak so highly of him as well. That just says so much about what he was like as a person. But, and I'll reiterate what I said earlier about the footballing world. We do it so well. When someone passes away from our kind of circle in that footballing environment, we get around the family, the friends, and we all come together, and it doesn't really matter. It's almost irrelevant who you support on days like today.
Oh my goodness, rivalry disappears today.
Completely disappears. You being a United fan, obviously their biggest rival, you're feeling it. I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm feeling it. So
it's almost like football doesn't matter today.
It doesn't.
Today's a day, football has a day off.
It takes a back seat.
Doesn't matter today.
And it's nice to hear, not just because I expect to hear Liverpool fans come on the show, but we've had Blackburn fans, completely different divisions. We've had Wolves fans where he was at before, just coming together and just paying their respects. It's so nice to hear.
And we'll continue taking your calls. 03717 223344. Now England have started their innings in their second test against India. They've lost a wicket already, would you believe? Sam Allard can tell us more.
They lost a wicket, and now they've lost their second wicket. 2 wickets in 2 balls for India. England 13 for 2. A quite remarkable start for India with the ball. They did a great job with the bat, scoring 587. The first wicket to fall was Ben Duckett for a duck. Didn't score a run. Of course, scored that incredible century in the first test match to help England win. Akashdeep in the team for Jasprit Bumrah. A wide ball, Duckett playing at it, thick outside edge. Really good catch from Shubman Gill. Ollie Pope then comes to the crease. Full ball from Akashdeep, tried to work it leg side, took the outside edge. Really good catch in the slips by K.O. Rahul. So England, who spent nearly 2 days out in the field, have now lost 2 wickets in 2 balls. Akashdeep on a hat-trick. England off to the worst possible start. 13 for 2, Andy.
Yeah, but we're only 574 behind. Oh no, that is horrific. Hopefully, I was going to say more from Sam throughout the show. Hopefully not. Let's turn our attention back to football. What do you make of this, Betty? Man United reportedly in talks with Aston Villa over a potential deal for Ollie Watkins. They have, of course, already signed Matthias Cunha from Wolves. That was 62 million. But they're looking to add to their forward line. Watkins was apparently unsettled at Aston Villa last season after being benched for John Duran. And then, of course, later on in the season when Marcus Rashford went there on loan. Former Villa striker Gabby Agbonlahor joined the Breakfast Show this morning. He debated with a caller whether the move will be a step backwards for Watkins.
So say if Watkins goes to Manchester United, you think that him not playing Champions League football or any European football in a team that finished so far down, I don't even know what part of the league he finished in, is a step up?
Definitely. And I'll tell you why.
Why? Go on. Yep.
Because it's Manchester United. That's why the guy from Wolves has signed. That's why the
not
kid
for wages.
from Brentford wants to come through.
Not for wages.
No, I don't think it's just for wages, mate. I really don't.
I know Gabby's listening, right? I know he's listening. It is a step up. It is any player. We all going like that. It is a step up. I'll tell you for why. Awful season for Man United, right? And you'll point to their league position. You'll go, what would be the point of them going to?
We've had an awful couple of seasons, not just one.
Awful. But if he's at Man United for the next 5 years, okay, or if he's at Aston Villa for the next 5 years, I would say he's got more chance of winning trophies with Man United than he has Aston Villa. Even through Man United's darkest days,
he's still winning trophies. Yeah, see, I'm almost split because when I looked at this and we said we were going to talk about it. So, in terms of size of football club, there's no debate. Man United are bigger than Aston Villa. But you get no argument from anybody, right? But where Gabby's talking about a step backwards, he would be stepping into a worse team. Because they're, in terms of on the pitch...
Currently, I agree with you.
Manchester United are a lot worse than Aston Villa.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
And if you look at both teams going forward, you'd say Aston Villa are in a better place in terms of moving forward than Manchester United are right now.
But they have a ceiling, Aston Villa. They're not going to win the Premier League, right?
Well, you say that,
but they're not.
Okay, I don't think they will.
And I know people go, well, Man United aren't. They're not going to this season and probably next and the one after.
But I think people are only talking about Man United because of the history, which I understand. But I understand from his perspective why he would say it's a backward step because the team's worse than Villa's. And I like Ollie Watkins, right? 75 Premier League goals in 184 games is decent. He's got 87 in total in 223 for Aston Villa. He's been incredible for them. 14 league goals when he first rocked up, 11, 15, 19 and 16 last season. So he's hitting double figures every single season as well, which I think's important. The only thing I could think of why he would go to United now is because, and this is no disrespect to Aston Villa because it is a wonderful football club, right? But whatever happens with Manchester United, right, it's always news. Regardless, whatever is going on at that football club, it's always news. Whether they're doing badly, whether they're doing well, whether they change their managers, whatever decision they make, it's front page of the paper because it's Man United. If he goes and scores these amount of goals for Manchester United, people are going to be talking about him in different circles than Aston Villa. People take notice Manchester United because it's a bigger club. It's a global. Yeah.
To lead the line for Man United is gigantic.
It's gigantic, right? Wages is another thing. If he wants to go and get paid a lot more than he's probably on, it's also Manchester United as well.
Yeah.
So from that element, and also from the Unai Emery, who I think's turned Ollie Watkins into an unbelievable centre forward, right? But he does feel disrespected with the Duran situation
and Rashford
and the Rashford situation.
Yeah, that's a little bit nuts.
So he probably wants a fresh challenge, but it's a really big decision. And if I'm in the same situation as Ollie Watkins, financially, yes.
Oh, you're moving. Let me tell you now, Gabby's moving.
I don't know if Gabby would.
Gabby's moving.
I don't think he would.
Gabby's moving.
No, if
Gabby's on 100 grand a week at Villa, and Man United come in and give him 250, and he's going to Man United, don't care what Gabby says, he's moving.
No, but this is my point, right? And this is where Gabby's Villa through and through. So his
so is Grealish.
No, but his perspective is going to be different to Watkins, yeah? So if you're talking about Manchester United when we played, as opposed to now, then there's no brainer. Of course he's going to go. But if you're talking about where the two clubs are now, and Man United are from 250, Villa are going to offer him 200, he won't go anywhere.
I know, but there's only a certain amount of times Man United come knocking for you, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the fact is, someone phoned up this morning and said it's not a backward step for Watkins, backward step for Man United. There was a time where we were buying Van Persie's, Van Nistelrooy's, Wayne Rooney.
Do you know what? And I heard that, but my only thing with that, and you're all right, because you're talking about some of the best ever.
Yeah.
But in this time since then, you have had like Weghorst.
Oh, yeah.
Igalo.
I know.
Rasmus Højlund.
That's my point. United were used, but United can't dine at the top table at the moment.
Even Martial, like he's decent, but he's not top level, is he?
And so we can't attract those. So we have to go second tier. And if you're looking for English strikers, second tier, Watkins is in that conversation, right?
Yeah.
If you're picking the English squad tomorrow,
yeah, he's in it.
How many strikers are there? Kane, Watkins. Then do you go Tony? Who do you put next? Do you go Solanke?
Well, if you're going second level in terms of English managers, English strikers, well, top level's Kane. He's not that. So it has to be.
Okay, so here's my question: in the second level of England strikers, who's top?
Second level.
Is it Ollie Watkins?
I'd say probably Watkins, or it's a difficult one. Watkins, it's a flip of a coin.
Watkins or
Tony or Solanke.
Okay. So that's why United are going for him at the moment.
But it's a difficult. I mean, as I said, if he's part of the rebuild and he could score goals, I mean, that sounds really nice. Bruno, Cunha, Watkins.
And what about Mbeumo? Can you stick him in there?
Well, because where's he play? He's wide.
I know, but can you use all four? I mean,
a wing back.
Well, if you had Bruno a little bit further back, and then you played Matthias Cunha in that 10 role.
Yeah. I don't like Bruno too far, but I like him.
I know.
Affecting play. But again, another big pool as well is that Villa in Europe, Man United are not.
I know, but Villa in the Europa League.
Still. Doesn't matter.
That, I mean,
you know what that is? From you, that face is a bit of Man United arrogance.
No. But what? Well, of course it is. No, but what I'm saying is, if they were in the Champions League, I go, yeah, okay, I get that. You wouldn't not go to Man United because you're being offered Europa League football, would you?
Yeah, my point is, right, it goes to Man United. There's no guarantees you get European football next year.
Yeah, but even when you've got European football, Aston Villa, he ain't getting a game because a bloke from Man United who's on loan is getting a game.
Yeah, true. But no, so it's a big decision for Watkins. But
would you stay at Villa and get Europa League football, or go Man United and be at Man United?
Yeah, but I do think you are. Man United is a huge juggernaut of a club, right? But I do think you are a bit blinkered in terms of where you are now.
No, I know exactly where we are now. And what you said, you hit the nail on the head, right? That he's going from a stronger Villa side to a weaker Man, without a doubt. I can't argue with that.
I'm telling you now,
you don't know if United get the transfer right this window, right, and get a goalkeeper, right, centre off, and Ollie Watkins comes in along with Mbeumo, I would see Man United finishing above Villa.
Oh no, not straight away, no way.
Yeah.
No, not
yeah,
yet.
I would do. I mean, I'm talking 5 players. That's half a team.
I don't think it's as quick because you think it is, Man United. I think you're a lot longer away than you think you are.
No, but I'm talking 7th with that prediction.
Okay, you're taking Mbeumo, but you're now putting Mbeumo in a. Okay, you're talking about Cunha.
By the way, Cunha's unbelievable player.
Okay, but their team,
we haven't spoken about
their team finishing at the bottom.
Whose?
Cunha, Wolves.
I know, but he's with Wolves.
That's my point. But you're talking about these players, and they are good players. Like you're buying players from City, Liverpool.
No, but Matthias Cunha is unbelievable.
Okay, and Mbeumo, unbelievable now.
Matthias Cunha is unbelievable. Would you not agree with that?
He's a very, very good player.
Okay, I'll put him in the very, very good player.
Mbeumo, good player.
Yeah.
So
Ollie Watkins?
Like, you've got Liverpool that are buying people like Wirtz and that.
No, but they're going for the league. We're not going for the league.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh there. I think you're being a bit...
We get a goalkeeper centre half, Watkins.
Couple of fullbacks.
We get 5 players in half the team. We'll take calls in it. Step backwards or step forwards for either club or player. 03717 223344. Belgium, they're taking on Italy in the early game at the Women's Euros. Ian Abrahams is watching for talkSPORT. Hi, Moose.
Hi, 14 minutes gone in Sion, and it's Belgium 0, Italy 0. Bright start to the game, actually, from both sides. Both have won corners very early on and shown attacking flair. Tessa Vulhart is the girl to look out for Belgium. She's their top scorer with 92 international goals. That's 3 more than Romelu Lukaku's got, so she's the all-time record goal scorer for Belgium. At the moment, she hasn't really had an effort on goal. We played quarter of an hour. It's Belgium 0, Italy 0.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The new Big Arch is here. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
We'll take your calls on all things Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa, Man United after this. 03717 223344. talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside Phil Campbell, bringing you the very latest transfer news. Just quickly, former UFC star Molly McCann has signed with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, intends to win a world title within 8 fights. We'll go to the phone lines in just a moment. It's the 4th day of Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT, of course, is Lisa O'Sullivan.
It's a bit of a serve fest over on number 1 court, where Jack Draper, the world number 4, is taking on Marin Cilic, who prepared for Wimbledon by becoming the oldest grass court champion in challenger history, winning the Nottingham Open at 36 years and 8 months old. But he isn't looking too shabby. 3 games all against Jack Draper in the early exchanges there. Barbora Krejcikova has had a bit of a tough ask, but has come through the defending champion, a 2-1 winner over Caroline Dolhide. And here on centre court, Katie McNally took the first set 7-5 against Iga Świątek, who leads 4-1 in the second.
Thank you, Lisa. We'll go to the Ollie Watkins calls in just a moment, but former England captain Owen Farrell has been called up to the British and Irish Lions tour of Australia by his dad, Andy. He comes in as a replacement for Elliot Daly, who has been ruled out after fracturing his arm. I saw that, by the way. It's awful in Wednesday's win over Queensland Reds. That's despite Farrell having a difficult season in Paris with Racing 92. Former head coach of England Rugby Eddie Jones joined White and Jordan earlier, and he said he deserves his call-up.
Well, I think if you just look at the facts about Owen, you know, he's played over 100 tests. I think he's the second highest point scorer behind Wilkinson, which is not a bad rap. And he's won everything bar a World Cup. So he's a player that's played in winning teams. He's an outstanding competitor, and I think what he'll bring to the Lions is just that little bit more depth to their side. You know, they've got Finn Russell, who's probably going to start at 10, and then the young guy Finn Smith from England's, you know, a really promising young player, and that he's adapting well to the high level of the game. But Owen will be a pretty handy third-string player. You know, come on and kick goals at above 80%. He's got a huge competitive spirit.
You got any problems with Dad picking his son?
No, if he's out on the right, then fair enough.
He's been injured for quite a lot of the season.
Yeah, but listen, if he seems...
Do you have a problem picking your son? I mean, his replacement is picked. His son, by the way, isn't in the same position as Daly.
Well, remember, you spoke about my parenting and how I should let Milan score and all that.
Yeah.
And I said that ain't happening. He's got to earn it.
So you're England manager, right? And your son plays up front.
Yep.
And we get an injury to a wide right player, right? You picking him?
How many goals he got that season?
3.
No.
13.
No.
Really?
No.
Who's your son? World Cup?
Yeah, no, but if you're talking about... If he's got 30... It's got to be... If he's a completely different position...
Yeah.
Then he's got to be... If he's got like 25, then
Let me tell you now, you're phoning your son.
I'm not.
You are. Sunday roast around the Bent household. Dad? Yeah. Can I come with you to the World Cup? Of course you can, son.
No. How much you get? 24. Yeah, you're coming.
15.
No.
15?
I need 20.
Sorry, how many did you get when Theo took your place?
Well, no, the first time I got 18.
Yeah.
22 in total didn't go.
Right.
I mean, the second time I got 25 and didn't go.
Do you know what? Because you've said that about your son, I'm glad you didn't go.
You don't mean that.
No, I don't mean that. We'll take your calls on all things Ollie Watkins. Talking to strikers, 03717223334. If you sign for Man United, would it be a backward or forward step? Talking of Ollie's called us. He's a Man United fan. Hi, Ollie.
Hi guys, good evening. Can I please first pass on my condolences to Diego Jota, Liverpool fans and football fans of the community. It was awful news what's happened to him. On reference to Ollie Watkins, Ollie Watkins needs to be at a club where he's going to be the main man, where the players around him are going to be wanting him to play, to score. It's a World Cup year coming up. Manchester United fans need a proper striker to be around to give the fans more confidence. I think it could work for everyone. I think it's good. I think the whole thing could work. He knows the Premier League. He knows where the back of the net is. And Manchester United not being in Europe next season as a club, in terms of what the players need, is actually not a bad thing.
And look, do you know as well, Ollie, right? It's one of them where Andy, he does know the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League, but he looks like a good character and he works hard, man. And I think you need a few of them in your.
Do you think he's a good player?
Yeah, I think. Well, look at his numbers of assists.
No, I do, but I just feel that when we talk about when we talk about England strikers, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I mean, he's...
Well, maybe because... I mean, if you start backing up against, say, from yesteryear, some of the strikers that we've had, and I'm up for myself in this bracket, but say you go people like Defoe. I'm talking about players that never really got to play for England as much as they probably should have done, but like Defoe.
Great goal scorers.
Right, Defoe's, Fowlers, Andy Coles, Even Emil, who was brilliant. Emil was brilliant for England. Would you say he's better than any of those? Probably not.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So that's probably where your people are struggling now. With even Vardy, he's not Vardy, is he?
No.
So that's where I think people are struggling to kind of, well, how good is he? Because you're almost putting him up against what's Kane and then the rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Kane is so far ahead of anyone.
Yeah.
Like you like.
But he does look like a traditional number 9. Like, this sounds awful, like a sort of, not, I don't want to say poor man's Harry Kane, but he's built in the way he hits the ball and the way he runs.
I mean, he's powerful runner and he's selfless running.
I don't want to compare him to Harry Kane because he's not in the same class, right? I get that. But I do think the Man United need that kind of number 9.
But you know what he does do though is that he's good with his back to goal, but he stretches defences, and that will help the likes of Cunha, pockets of space.
Yeah. Does he come in deep like Kane does?
Yeah, but
not as deep.
Not as deep, but he knows his strengths.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, in that team like Man United, you don't want him coming deep. What you need him to do is run the other way, so then the game gets stretched, and then Bruno's got space, Cunha's got space, Mason Mount. Your footballers that can pick a pass, they've got a lot of space.
If he comes to Man United, right?
Yeah.
If Man United's front four, whatever, is Bruno, Cunha, and Buemo and Watkins, would you say as a football fan, big tick for that 4?
Yeah, they're all good players. It's how'd you get 3 of them into 4?
Yeah, but would you look at that and go, because you and I got a bet Man United top 8?
Yeah, I'd say it's decent.
You would?
Yes, it's decent.
You'd worry about
I still think there's a few better front combinations than that.
Oh,
one.
without a doubt.
But no, it's decent. It's a good start.
It's better than they've had for a long, long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll carry on taking your calls, 03717 22
Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28. The Liverpool forward was involved in a car crash alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
This is the drive of talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent here. Still to come, we'll bring you some of the latest rumours doing the rounds today in the transfer market. First up is day 2 of the second test between England and India, Edgbaston. Before we spoke to Sam Ellard, it was the most horrific, worst start we could wish for. Hopefully things have got a little bit better, Sam.
No, they've got worse. India, 587 runs on the board. England are in trouble at 25 for 3. Duckett and Pope both went for a duck in consecutive balls off Akashdeep. Now Mohammad Siraj has got Crawley for 19. A fuller ball outside of off stump, shaping away. Crawley, Pope did it, has a late push away from his body, tried to work it into the offside. He got a thick edge that goes straight to Karen Nair at first slip. Brook comes to the crease. First 2 balls, 2-player misses. India right on top here. England in big trouble. Root and Brook out of the crease with a lot of work to do for England, who are 25 for 3 and trailing by 562 runs.
Sam, we spoke last week about obviously this game, and as long as Root there, boy, I've got all the confidence in the world that England, as longer he stays there, that England will get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, 100%. He's our best batsman. He's always there in times of trouble. And do you know what? I know England have had a tricky start here, but this is a good wicket to bat on. It's a flat wicket, blue skies. India showed that if you get yourself in, there's runs to be had there on this wicket. So Joe Root knows he's got to get through this last hour, get to stumps in an hour's time. They're 3 down. There's blue skies again tomorrow. Good wicket to bat on. There's lots and lots of runs here to be had for both Brook and, of course, Joe Root.
Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. 562 562 behind with no chance.
A lot. It's a lot of runs. Don't
Why
say
are you laughing?
That. I'm not laughing. Can I have you got time for a stat here?
Of course.
Because I know you like a stat, don't you, on this show?
Love a stat.
I'm just trying to find it. This is the 4th time England have conceded 500 or more under Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, and guess what? They won the other 3. Mic drop.
Hold on. Pick your mic up, right? Because what does that tell you? Law of averages said it's not going to happen this time, right?
Stop being so negative. I don't think that's what the stat's saying at all.
Do you think it will happen?
I think it will. As long as Root's there, he's got a chance.
I don't mean to be boring here, but the forecast on the weekend, Sunday in particular, lots of rain forecast. I think, if anything, this could be a draw.
Okay. Well, that's my problem with cricket.
Well, they play for 5 days and it ends in a draw.
Yeah.
It seems fair.
Sam, it does when you're 562 behind, let me tell you. It's very fair.
We'll take a draw from here, right?
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll keep you up to date. Hopefully we won't be going back to Sam anytime soon, but as things stand, it's 26 for 3, 561 behind. Now, earlier today, we heard the very tragic news that Liverpool striker Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of 28. Tributes have, of course, been pouring in throughout the day here on talkSPORT. Wolves legend Matt Murray joined Jim White earlier on this morning. He gave his reaction to this morning's horrific news.
Gutted. I'm in shock. And I was in shock about around a year ago this time, when we lost Matej Sarkic. And I'd only been chatting to Matej that morning, and we lost him just over a year ago. And then you see the messages coming through on your phone, and you're like, what's going on? And then you check, and you're just in disbelief. I believe he just got married as well. He was the nicest guy, and the memories start coming back of that team with that Nuno built. You know, he was part of that first season in the Championship and the team that Nuno built. And Diogo was just so humble. I had the pleasure a few times being around the training ground, talking to him, listening about his career, how he was, and he's just really, really humble. The Wolves fans loved him. John Ruddy's just sent me a message there. He's absolutely devastated. So for the lads that are actually in that dressing room with him, I don't know how, and for his family, he lost his brother as well. You just, as a parent, you're just devastated. But the memories come back. He was such a fantastic player. I love watching him play for Wolves. Then I just looked on my phone there. I've got a picture of him with my little boy and his mates. I was outside Molineux. They just beaten Wolves. He saw me, and he hadn't seen me since he left. He comes over, takes time with my little boys and his mates, has photos, and that's a measure of the guy. He was an amazing person. Truly, truly missed, like you said, so much ahead of him. Married, just won the Premier League, and yeah, absolutely devastated and gutted and just in disbelief.
Matt, forgive me, but moments ago I showed this picture to Martin and to Stuart of your lovely three lads with the three kids and Diogo, which I have in front of me. And was this towards the tail end of the season? Was this just at the end?
No, it's when they beat. No, they came to Molineux. I think it was around September time.
Right.
Diogo played up front, got a fantastic reception from the Wolves fans as always. We made it 1-1 Wolves, I say we, and then Salah had the penalty, and then my little boy is the one in the Wolves top, and then his two best mates.
I see him. Yeah,
and they love meeting the players. And by the way, all the Liverpool lads are brilliant, but Diogo took that extra time. And he stopped and he spoke to them, and he would go and sign autographs, and he just really was. And the team that Nuno built, a big thing he wanted from that team was to stay humble. And this was a guy that came to Wolves from Atletico Madrid. He'd gone from Champions League football to the Championship, and it was when the Mendes era just started. And it was like, how have we got this guy? And I can just remember him, how he carried the ball. And I'm sure Stuart and Martin will say that he wasn't the biggest of guys, but he was strong. He was so good in the air, and he never gave defenders a rest, the way he carried the ball. So he was really, really hard for defenders to play against. He was brilliant in Championship, then transitioned into the Premier League, then was sold to a big profit. But as I say, the way he came over, he just, he's got all these people screaming for him, and he came and he took that time. And that's what I think people give modern day footballers. They say, they're not in touch with the fans. He really, really was a fantastic human being. And that's why I just looked at that photo. My little boy, when he hears about it, will be gutted, because he was like, he's come and spoken to me, and he watched him on the telly, and truly gutted. But what he did for Wolves fans will always remember that.
They will indeed. What a lovely chat that was with Matt Murray. And let's get more reaction from you, the football fan. Sean's a Liverpool fan. Hi, Sean.
Hi guys, you alright?
Well, as well as you can be on such a sad day. How are you?
Well, I feel compelled to ring because of how much I've been rocked by it, I guess. I'm a Red and I work at home, and I have to say you've handled it really well today, both of you. And the station as a whole, I've had the station on all day, and it has been a source of comfort because it's just so unbelievably shocking. I still can't compute it. I don't think anybody can. But it kind of speaks to this weird emotional connection we have with these footballers that most of us have never met. And I think something like what's happened today serves as a reminder of the emotional connection we have with them, purely because of all these magical moments they give us and the memories that they create. And I think we all love football in and of itself. The game is great and we love it, but it's about so much more than that. It's about the memories, and it's about the moments and the people that you share the moments with. And we've had so many amazing moments with him. He scored clutch goals, big goals regularly. I mean, he only got 6 last season, but every one of them counted. He scored a big equaliser with his first touch away at Forest. He scored a massive goal against Everton at home in April time. He scored the opening goal against Ipswich on day one. Every single one of them mattered. So even though he said himself it was tough personally, because it was so injury ravaged, that was the only downside to his career, really. He had so many injuries, but even in an injury ravaged season, he stepped up and scored big goals, and we are crushed. My lad is a massive fan. He was late to football, like a lot of dads I tried from an early age to get him into it, and he wasn't all that bothered. And the first shirt I got him, once he'd become embroiled in it and addicted to it, was a Jota shirt. So he's flawed as well.
I bet he is. It's mad, isn't it? How things can hit you, because I didn't meet him, you didn't meet him. You know, I'm a Man United fan, you're Liverpool. But on days like this, all of that rivalry just all goes. We'll become a little bit more human, don't we, on a day like this?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite humbling, really. I've been on Twitter today and seen a lot of the reaction, and there's not been a scintilla of bad stuff.
No.
I guess we're all human at the end of the day. In football, was it Arrigo Sacchi said that football is the most important of the unimportant things?
Yeah.
And it's very true. And most people are good. And I think something like today, even though it's hideously tragic, shows people in their best light, which can only be a good thing.
Sean, what a good call. What a pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for your time, pal.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Let's go to Stephen, a Wolves fan. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Andy. Right.
Hi, I'm okay, Stephen. How are you today?
Yeah, good. It's just the news, isn't it? In listening to all these sad stories and Jota, it was great for Wolves, and a lot of Wolves fans were really a bit gutted when he left the club. But I mean, my story is I manufacture and fit like window coverings, like vertical blinds, roller blinds, and I get this phone call from this number, and it sounds like a man talking like foreign to me, like in English, and I thought it was one of my friends taking the mickey. So I just cut him. I said, "Come on, who is it?" No, it's Diego Jota, and I just cut him off. And my son's in the car, and my son's laughing. He says, "Who's that?" Then I said, I don't know. So next thing, the phone goes again, and he went, please don't do that. Please. And I said, do what? He says, cut me off. He said, everybody cuts me off. And then I said, who is it really? And he said, no, it's Diego Jota. And he says, you the blinds, somebody's told me, pass me your number on. And I went, oh, I'm really sorry. And I was like, really felt like, oh my God, what have I done? Because I'm a season ticket holder, and I have been for years and years.
Dear.
So I planned to meet him at his house. I went round his house and measured up, and I measured up in 10 minutes. I was a bit nervous about going round his house because I'm meeting like a Wolves star, in my opinion. And then I measured up his windows, him and his girlfriend at the time. Which took me about 10 minutes. And then I must have been there talking to football about an hour and a half about the Wolves, and he was telling me stories about Nuno and that he made them all live within 2 miles either of the club, of the training ground or the football ground, which I thought, oh, what a great thing. But when I went back, I fitted his job, really pleased. He said, while you're here, can you measure these? He said, but I'm not guaranteeing you get this job because it's coming up the transfer window. And then he phoned me up and he went, cancel that job. He said, I won't be here. And I was going, oh, who are you going to? Where are you being sold to? And he said, I can't say. And then that was it.
Wow. That was great story that is.
Yeah. But he was such a nice person. The only thing what we both laughed at is his girlfriend she was very pretty, and she said to me, she said, when I was going upstairs, he just had a delivery of food, and his girlfriend said, would you like to come to the bedroom with me? And to measure the windows, and I went, oh, I'd love to. And he looked at me, we both started laughing, and she didn't get it. She said, I'll explain. Yeah. And that was the story. That's
my story. What a great story. Yeah. It's calls like yours, Stephen, are the reason I think talkSPORT is just head and shoulders above any other output, any other platform, because it's football fans like yourself that share stories with these superstars that we never get to hear. Sadly, we only get to hear them once they've passed away, but what we do find out is just how great and how humble and how wonderful these people are. So without calls like yours, Steve, we don't get that. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I had loads of, I took, or his girlfriend took loads of photographs with me and him together, like.
I bet.
And I did say to his girlfriend, I said, I'm really sorry. I said, because I'm just taking up so much of your time. She said, no, it's okay. She's used to it. So she wasn't really into football. That's what he said.
No, but when you're married to a superstar, it's part and parcel of it, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Steve, thanks so much for sharing that wonderful story. Right. Thanks, pal.
Thanks, Andy. Cheers. Thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's great, right? They're the stories you never, ever get to hear.
And that's what I'm saying. They're the stories I like, because that tells you more about the person than anything, I think.
See, someone comes around my house, I want to talk about talkSPORT, I'm like, get out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, see?
but you get someone like that who's a million times bigger than I am, has time for these people. It's great.
So that tells you look in the mirror.
Yeah, I know. That's great, Stephen. Well done. Thank you for that. Keep your calls coming in. 03717 223344. Assistant driver talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent alongside. Still to come, we'll be asking if Moise Caicedo is the best midfielder in the Premier League right now. Just quickly, Tyson Fury has hinted that he will fight Alexander Usyk in a trilogy bout at Wembley next April. In fact, he's put on his Instagram page that if you want tickets, contact this fella, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen just yet. It's the 4th day of Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
It's been a bit Pete Sampras on number 1 court, where Marin Cilic has served himself into a 1-set lead over British number 1 Jack Draper. 36-year-old who won the Nottingham Open ahead of the championships is rolling back the years, and Jack Draper is staying with him. That break coming in the final game of the set. 6-4, 1-love. Cilic leads, and on centre court, Iga Świątek back in front against Casey McNally of the US. She dropped the first set 7-5, took the second 6-2, and is 2-love and about to serve in the third.
Thanks, Lisa. Belgium, they're taking on Italy in the Women's Euros. Watching for talkSPORT is Ian Abrahams.
Half-time is Belgium 0, Italy 1. The goal on the stroke of half-time scored by Ariana Caruso. The ball was won midway inside the Belgium half by Italy. The defenders were all drawn to one part of the penalty area. Caruso was on the other, and when she took the touch of the ball, she put it onto her right foot and smashed it home from 15 yards out, her 17th international goal. Prior to that, the best chance had fallen actually to Belgium. Tessa Vulhard, who's scored 92 times for them, thought she had her 93rd, or was thinking she might have a 93rd. 12 yards out at the second attempt, took a shot, but it went wide of the post. So Italy, they lead at half-time thanks to the goal by Adriana Caruso. It's Belgium 0, Italy 1.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new Big Arch has landed at McDonald's with its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
Oh, we got the game on here in the studio. We both saw the goal. What did you make of it? Good goal? Bad goalkeeper? Bit of both?
No, it's a good goal. I mean, it's a good finish, you'd have to say, from Caruso. I mean, she almost just takes a touch out of her feet and then kind of whips it back on herself. Do you know what I mean? I think everyone else is thinking she's going to try and use the defender and feed it into that far corner, and she just reverses it. And it's a tidy finish. Doesn't quite go right into the corner, but yeah, really, really good finish. There's been some nice goals so far this tournament.
Okay, Italy still leading Belgium by 1-0. Right, time now to look at some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds today. Let's start off with Bentnesside Arsenal, because they are reportedly becoming increasingly confident of signing Rodrigo from Real Madrid this summer.
Take that.
What do you make of that? Forward is not guaranteed to start around Alonso, has spent much of his time on the bench at the Club World Cup. Would this be a bit of a statement signing by Arsenal if they can pull it off?
It would be, but what I don't want to happen is Arsenal sign Rodrigo and then another striker comes in. Then, here we go again. No, sign the striker first. If you can get Rodrigo as well, fair, love it. He's only 24 years old, so he's still got room to grow.
Yeah.
But no, Arsenal need to get that centre forward in
first.
It's
weird, isn't it? Does he go straight into the starting 11?
Well, predominantly he plays on the right, and he ain't playing into the Saka. So no, is the question. But he can play centre forward. So that's
he's not the answer, is
he?
No,
that's an option. Havertz is still there.
Wanjeri can play on the right.
Yeah, Havertz is still there as well. He's been good for us. Martinelli on the left, but having Rodrigo, it gives you that option. But I still want a more recognised centre forward to come in than him.
If you were guaranteed him, but it meant no recognised number 9, would you have him or not?
No, I want to take the chance that we can get a recognised.
Okay.
I'd like Eze though as well. That'd be nice.
Would you take Ollie Watkins?
Yeah, probably.
You
probably.
would?
Yeah, because recognise centre forward.
Yeah, but you'd be happy with that, is what I'm asking. Because he was linked to your club in the last window, do you remember?
Yeah, it was a weird scenario.
Yeah, it was like a day before. Well, no, I think it was the day of a European title, wasn't it?
Or someone said that he was offered to Arsenal by somebody.
And Villa turned it down.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, I'll take Ollie Watkins for sure. But he's not leaving Villa, I don't think. Or he might go United, actually.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that earlier.
I know, yeah, but I'm just saying, just thinking about it there. Would he go?
Okay. Do you think it will go, by the way? I didn't ask you that earlier.
Depends on the money.
Do you think it's just money?
Not just money, but, like, he's obviously felt disrespected by Unai.
Yeah, rightly so.
Right, so he might have had a conversation. Because I wouldn't think Unai would want him to go, because the relationship they've got there. But the fact they're willing to let him go tells me they might replace him with somebody else. So who's coming in? Because
really?
Who else they got?
Yeah, they would have lost their
They've got none, haven't they?
Yeah,
so
can't do that.
No.
Maybe take Kai Havertz off your hands. All right, let's move on and talk about a player who could soon be leaving the Premier League. Atletico Madrid are reportedly ready to do whatever it takes to sign Christian Romero from Spurs. How much? I've got his fee in front of me. How much it could cost? How much do you reckon, Romero?
40 mil.
It's a 61 in front of me. Yeah, is that good for a centre half or not?
You look. Tell me he's 80.
Yeah. So no, the answer's...
No, but I like Romero. He's been a good servant for Spurs as well. Helped them win their first trophy, of course, in a long time. I like him. This season, I mean, I've not watched that much of Spurs, but I watched a fair bit. Compared to last season, where I felt like he was getting booked all the time, making rash decisions. He looked like he's calmed down a bit now. World Cup winner, of course, as well. But if ever he wanted to go to a club that I felt suited him more than any other club with his character, his personality, the way he's aggressive, it's Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So I can understand why he'd want to move to Atleti. So good luck to him.
Yeah, we talked about Spurs, I think, earlier on in the week. Right?
I don't know what they're doing.
Looks like Richarlison's going. He might be going as well.
Richarlison's not a big loss.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is there's 2 members of the squad gone.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any player being linked to Spurs
They got linked with Eze, didn't they? But now, obviously, Arsenal throwing the hat in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Right, let's move on and talk about Brighton winger Karim Matoma, because he's reportedly told the club that he wants to stay despite interest from Bayern Munich. Brighton have become well known for developing players and then selling them on for crazy money. How big would it be to keep hold of a player like Matoma? Are you a fan of his?
Yeah, big fan of his. Strange, not when I say strange, because that's not fair. Different background in terms of the way he came into football. But yeah, he has been incredible for Brighton for sure. With what's going on with this thing here?
What you done? You broken it?
No, nothing's silly. But no, yeah, he's only 28 years old as well. I'm shocked that he's opted to stay where he's at as opposed to go to Bayern Munich, one of the biggest clubs in the world. But I mean, obviously he's a good player. Had a big injury. He's come up from the injury as well. I like the way that he plays. Can go past people. Can score a goal. Can create a goal as well. And I wonder how serious, because you're thinking if Sane's going, he's obviously leaving Bayern Munich as well. I don't think they're sold on Gnabry, so there's a place for him.
You were linked to Sane, weren't you?
Yeah, but he's opted to go to.
No, I know.
Galatasaray. But I'd like to have seen Sane come to Arsenal.
Yeah.
But if Matona's opting to start Brighton over going to Bayern Munich, that's almost a win for Brighton. That is.
I don't know if that's true.
You don't think so?
No, if you're at Brighton, Bayern Munich coming for you,
you have to go.
Of course you have to go, right? You're going to win the Bundesliga, you've got a chance of winning the Champions League.
Yeah, simple as that.
Or you can fight for top 10.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but maybe. But I mean, I would go Bayern. That's just me.
Well, we've got an hour left of our show. Obviously, we'll carry on taking your calls 03717223334. Bent is going to preview the Club World Cup, which he does incredibly well, and we'll talk about some of the Premier League's best players, all of that, and a bit more coming up in the last hour drive on talkSPORT.
Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28. The Liverpool forward was involved in a car crash alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. In Portugal, Porto have also shared heartfelt condolences to Jota and Silva's family and friends. The club said they're in shock and deep sorrow. Jota's final ever game was for Portugal last month, coming off the bench against Spain before his side lifted the Nations League trophy. The president of the Portuguese Football Federation has released a statement as well. Pedro Praneca said all of Portuguese football is completely devastated by the loss of both Jota and Silva. He called the Liverpool forward much more than an amazing player, saying he was an extraordinary person with an infectious joy. Finally, the Premier League says the pair's passing is tragic. The league added that football has lost a champion in Jota who will be forever missed. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
You're listening to the Last Hour Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Now, earlier today we heard the very tragic news that Liverpool striker Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of 28. And fans have been paying tribute to him throughout the day here on talkSPORT.
Liverpool have win number 100 against Everton. They bring up a century of Merseyside derby victories, courtesy of that goal from Diogo Jota.
The thing with Liverpool is we're not just a team, he's an honorary Scouser. We've lost one of his own, just heartbreaking. It's not just him, it's his brother as well, his poor family.
It feels like you know him, but you don't know him, if that makes sense. You just want to know, you just want to try and support, let people know that, you know, the family know that everyone in the world's going to be thinking about them.
We've been through a lot as a city and, you know, we gather ourselves, but you can't prepare for things like this, can you?
No, I live up here now, but I still go to Wolves every week. Still a season ticket holder. We won the championship with him, Ruben Neves and Nuno. Probably the best team I've seen at Wolverhampton in my lifetime.
Everyone knows what it's like to lose someone. It feels like we've lost one of our own.
The fans just absolutely adored him. If he was injured, we wanted him back. If he was on the pitch, we thought he'd score.
Just a gentleman on the pitch, off the pitch. He donated money to charities, Hillsborough, other charities, the foundation. He done everything he could.
You'll never walk alone. You're always in our hearts. Never forget you. Never forget.
I have to commend everyone that's taken time to phone us and share their memories, and we'll continue taking calls 03717 223344. Take as many as we can in this hour. Now, Chelsea's Romeo Lavia has been speaking to the club's website whilst his team are out in the US for the Club World Cup, and he was full of praise for his midfield partner Moises Caicedo.
Thank God I played next to
absolute destroyer. So like, sometimes he does my job, and I'm like, let me do a little bit, but he does it for me. You know, Moy is unbelievable. But I hope I can show some of these skills as well, because they're part of my style of play.
No, I've been very honest there. I like that interview. That was nice. Now, listen, with Caicedo having a brilliant campaign for Chelsea last season, many have suggested that he's currently the best holding midfielder in the Premier League. Now, Rodri only just working his way back from injury. Would you say Caicedo is currently the best player in that position? That's a big ask, right?
Yeah, most probably, because, as you said, Rodri for so long has been that guy. Ballon d'Or winner, so that tells you we need to know. Premier League titles, scored in Champions League finals, wins it with Spain, although he went off at half-time. Rodri's been the standout performer in that position, but also as well, what I liked about that interview as well is that Lavia can make such a difference, because he's been linked to Chelsea, he was linked to Liverpool, and I knew he was good at Southampton, but I didn't quite understand why so many big clubs were chasing him. When you've watched him in a cameo of appearances for Chelsea, him and Caicedo in the park, oh my goodness gracious! And if you put Palmer in there as a 10, that is some midfield, by the way, because they complement each other. Lavia and Caicedo both get after the ball, both comfortable in possession. But for me, right now, Caicedo in that role would have to be.
Is he really?
Yeah, he'd have to be.
Okay. Well, that got us thinking, who's currently the best player in each position in the Premier League? Now, I say currently because this is done on form.
Yeah, right now.
So you can't necessarily go Rodri because he's not playing.
No, but he's in there.
Oh, not ahead of Caicedo?
No.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Well, here we go.
So in goal.
You're not going to argue with most of these because they're probably going to be Arsenal players.
Yeah, in goal, Alisson. I still think he's the gold standard.
Okay.
Incredible goalkeeper.
Has Ederson slipped away in that conversation?
A little bit.
Yeah,
his performances haven't been good. Like goals that are going, still the best of his feet. But in terms of shot stopping and some of the goals, he hasn't looked like his old self.
No, he hasn't, has he?
No,
okay. I can't argue with that.
Left back Kirkes.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, for Bournemouth. He's at Liverpool now, but
fantastic,
brilliant.
Yeah, we both love him.
Yeah, right back Reece James.
Well, okay, is he fit?
He's looked really good in the World Cup.
Is he?
You seen him play for England, score the goal, free kick.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, it's right back's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very. I do wonder with Reece James, if he remains fit, is he England's best right back?
I think so, in terms of everything he is, yeah.
He really is, isn't he? Okay.
Virgil.
Right.
Saliba.
See, there you go. Best centre half, is he?
Yeah, Saliba, yeah.
Okay.
Right. 3 in the middle of the park. It's hard, this. I've got Caicedo and Rodri both kind of pivoting.
Right. Both. Are you not doing the old Gerard Lampard thing?
No.
Squeezing them both in?
No, I'm doing a double. I'm doing Caicedo and Lavia.
So what?
Because Caicedo and Lavia are the same. They pivot at Chelsea.
I know, but one's more dominant than the other.
Yeah, and I've got...
who's the dominant one here? Rodri?
Rodri on the ball and Caicedo doing the work.
Okay.
Declan Rice.
What was the 8?
As the 8, he's been incredible, hasn't
he? Yeah, he has been incredible, yeah. He needed to be. He's a big price tag, but he has been brilliant.
Front 3. On the right's obvious.
Anthony.
Correct.
Yeah. Salah.
Down the middle, I've got Isak.
What, over Haaland?
Yeah, because Haaland, if you talk about for form...
I don't know if I feel...
Yeah, like the numbers, incredible from Haaland, but who's had a better season in terms of an overall package?
Who's got more goals?
Is it just about
Premier League goals? Yeah, well, it is if you're a number 9.
No, of course it's not.
So, what are you talking about?
Okay,
sorry, that's the only thing it's about if you're a number 9.
No, what? So you're saying if you score more goals, you're better?
As a number 9, yeah. Okay. As a goal scorer.
Okay, give me your top 5.
No, I don't need to give you top 5. If your job's to score goals,
just give me your top 5 Premier League strikers of all time.
Top 5 Premier League strikers of all time. Yeah, number 9s.
Yeah, number 9. Just go top 5 right
number
now.
Number 9s.
Yes.
Okay. Shearer.
Yeah.
Rooney.
Yeah.
Andy Cole.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to stick Thierry in there, obviously.
Okay.
And what for numbers or
no? I'm just asking you for your best.
You know, but you're trying to.
Yes, that's exactly that.
Right, go on. What's the point you're trying to make?
No, just who's your 5?
Van Nistelrooy.
Okay, well, Van Nistelrooy, that's fair enough. But Van Nistelrooy's got nowhere near as many goals. So he
wasn't near as long.
No, but by your definition, you're saying because he hasn't got as many goals, he's not as good.
No, goals for games, he's probably up there with the best of them.
Oh, so it's now down to goals per game. It's not just now goals.
Yeah, well, if you're going longevity, I'm talking about one season. I said, did Isak get more goals than Haaland last season?
Okay.
And you went, oh, was it just about goals? I went, yeah, it is.
It's not.
Oh, Benty, come on, you're a goal scorer. You know it's exactly about goals.
No, it's not. Well, come on.
So what would you have? A number 9 that works hard and gets 10, or a number 9 that doesn't work hard and gets 20?
Okay, well, if we talk about last season, Isak got more goals.
Right, well, there you go. That's settled the argument.
No, but my point
Why are you so happy about that?
No, my point
How many more do you get in
1.
In the league?
It's a load of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
23 Isak. But I think In terms of all-round package, he's better than Haaland.
Oh my God,
Haaland's a better goal scorer. His numbers are crazy, but all-round, taking the ball to feet, turning, running behind,
Isak's
movement.
Okay, you got one number 9 tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're going Isak.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, on the left.
Morgan Rogers.
Mm.
That position, for so long that position was like fuck, but now it's hard.
What did you say? It was
like you have Gordon or like so. I almost felt like that wide left position was the position where a lot of the best players used to play left.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, I put Morgan Rogers.
So even more so for England, right? We're an abundance of talent out on the left. Too much.
Too much. No Grealish, no Rashford.
Yeah. Foden, you could stick. Well,
no,
maybe not. But
yeah, that's my team.
Go on, go over your team again.
Alisson, Reece James, Virgil van Dijk, Saliba, Kirkes, Caicedo, Rodri, Declan Rice, Salah, Isak, and Morgan Rogers.
Okay. Usually give like honourable mentions to players you've
Gibbs White. Gibbs White was close. Milenkovic was close. Or Morello. Both of those at four.
You want to put Bruno in there?
Forrest was brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? Bruno's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, nah.
You don't think so?
Yeah, he's been incredible.
But last season, great season.
Yeah, he's brilliant. But I don't know how brilliant he was, or he just was in a rubbish team.
Well, maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, but no, Bruno could have been in there.
Okay. We take calls on here if you want to argue with Darren Bent.
No, there's no arguing. Today's not about arguing.
Okay,
we're having a discussion.
If you want to discuss it with Darren Bent.
Well, you give me yours quickly.
You had all day to write yours down.
No, I've got mine here.
Yeah, no, but you wrote it down. I can't just come off the bat with it.
Well, come on.
Okay, all right. In goal.
All right, no, come on. Don't be silly.
Probably Ronaldo.
Yeah.
03717223344. Belgium, they're taking on Italy in the Women's Euros. Second half is underway. The Moose can tell us more.
It's still Belgium 0, Italy 1. The goal coming right on half-time for Italy for Caruso. A shot from 15 yards out. By the way, here's a stat for you. Belgium have never won a game in a major tournament where they've gone behind in the match. So that would suggest they're not going to be winning this one. They have got a dangerous free kick at the moment. 6 minutes into the second half. It's still Belgium 0, Italy 1.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order the iconic new Big Arch on the McDonald's app. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
You watched the game last night. You were quite impressed with it, weren't you?
Yeah, really good game between Switzerland and Norway.
Yeah.
Just didn't go the way I thought it would go because Switzerland first half was so dominant. Get themselves in front, they're playing some really good patterns of play, getting down the flanks, creating chances. And then I watched the first half on the train, got home, and I think I missed the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the second half. And I come back and it felt like I was watching a completely different game. Norway got on top.
What was the turn? What, half time, you mean?
Half time, like Norway.
Substitutions or?
I wouldn't even say substitutions, but it was just the level in performance. I mean, yesterday, watching that game yesterday, I'm thinking, right, there's only going to be one winner, and that's going to be Switzerland. But I mean, second half, Norway come out, score some really, really good goals. I think it's Hegerberg scores a really nice header. Like, really, really nice header. Gets up early, powers it in. And then Sterling, I think her name is, the own goal for Switzerland was just a...
Was that when you showed me before?
Yeah, really, really poor goal.
But
poor, and Norway...
Also, the ball's coming across the penalty area, onto your right foot.
Yep. And
usually you'd knock it back to where it came from.
Yep. And Moscow missed the pen as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Norway missed the penalty as well.
But how was it missed? Saved or over the bar?
Dragged it wide. Do you know, when she put the ball down, it was Hegerberg, right? When she put the ball down, I went... Okay, and then the run-up, even as she's gone up to the ball, I had no confidence she was going to score.
Right, left footer?
The right footer. There was no, like intensity to the ball. It was almost like an ambled run-up, like, not quite sure. And then she couldn't have generated enough power and just dragged it wide. But then about a minute later, Switzerland get a penalty, but it's overturned by VAR, which was the right decision.
Who's the best penalty take you've ever seen in practice?
Who I've ever played with?
Yeah.
Tommy Miller.
Who?
Tommy Miller, Ipswich, by some distance.
Really?
Never missed. Never. And he went the same way.
He went the same way?
Every time, right? And I think maybe only once did he, because the goalkeeper went so early, he put it in the corner.
Yeah.
But his penalty was like to the goalkeeper's left, so he's opened his foot, side foot. His penalties.
Joe just told me Ipswich fan. Like 21 out of 21.
Yeah. I promise you.
There is a technique to it, right?
Yeah, like Ivan Toney, look at his, but he's missed one before.
Yeah, but there is a technique to, you know, there used to be a thing that when England would go out on penalties, it would be like, oh, it's luck.
Yeah.
It's really not, though, is it?
No, it's not. And now goalkeepers are doing their homework, putting it on the bottle.
Yeah.
Those type of things as well. But it is partly luck, because...
Well, not if your mate's scoring 21 out of 21.
No, a little bit, because say I practice penalties all the time, right, and I could put it in the same spot religiously, right? If the goalkeeper goes early enough and puts his hand and saves it, then what can you do?
Yeah, but there are parts of the goal where if you put a ball they can't get. Top right, top left, usually. With power, the goalkeeper won't get there.
But if you go early enough,
Like
you get there.
Shearer used to do that, right?
And that's why he missed 11.
Yeah, but I would imagine that out of the 11 he missed, a lot were over the bar, hit the post.
Oh, no, I can't see. I don't imagine Shearer missing targets.
That's a good point.
But no, I think if you go early enough...
Ipswich, Joe, you're so sad. Missed one against Ipswich, dragged it wide.
Did he, Shearer?
Missed the target.
Wow. Shocked me about that. Super out.
I just think because he's putting in top rights and top lefts, very rare that goalkeeper can get that.
No, but
unless you're like Chelsea do that, where you start moving about an hour before the penalty's taken.
And that's my point, though. If you go early enough, the goalkeeper, you've got a chance.
What were you like penalties?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you practice them a lot?
Yeah, they love it in training.
Best goalie in practice?
Gomez, probably, from Spurs. But my goodness, he was so big.
Yeah.
His arms were like, woof.
Did you ever get injured taking one?
Why are you asking me this question?
No, I'm just asking, did you?
You know I got injured at taking one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, that was the worst injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them.
Joe put that in my ear. You're a disgrace, Joe.
Yeah, it's pocket. No.
How bad was that injury?
Well, I've still got the scar there with the operation. I was out for 4 months.
Why would you make me asking that? Did you miss it?
No.
He's good.
I'm sure I've got it on video somewhere.
Of course you have, yeah. We'll take more of your calls on, Bent is named his 1 to 11. We're going to the break, Bent, with you naming your 1 to 11. This is Bentley's 1 to 11. He thinks these are currently the best players in each position in the Premier League.
Alisson, Reece James, Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba, Kirkes, Caicedo, Rodri, Declan Rice, Salah, Isaac and Morgan Rogers.
03717 223344 if you want to chat to Darren Bent. The Drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent alongside. A reminder, talkSPORT is now available in more places than ever before, and you can watch us via your smart TV. Just head to talksport.com/watch for all details, and you can watch all your favourite shows and presenters, plus some of our brand new content. Still to come, we'll hear from England women's defender Esme Morgan ahead of their opening game at the Euros this weekend. Just quickly, United States will face the holders Mexico in the Gold Cup final after both won their semi-finals on Wednesday. Right, it's the fourth day of Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Serve bot Marin Cilic is racing towards the third round, elbowing Britain's Jack Draper out of his way en route. 6-4, 6-3 he leads. Jack Draper's just held serve in the opening game of the third set. Really needs to disrupt the Croatian's rhythm because he has been match perfect so far, firing down 8 aces and 31 winners in this match. We've just been watching on centre court Iga Swiatek come from behind to book her place in the third round.
Thank you for that, Lisa. Right, time now to look ahead to the Club World Cup. All thanks to our friends at DAZN.
FIFA Club World Cup preview on talkSPORT, presented by DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com.
Now, of course, the quarterfinals take place this weekend. Chelsea on the favourite side of the draw. It's good that we got Darren Bent alongside because no one knows more than Darren Bent about the Club World Cup. Let me go through the draw and you can maybe tell us a bit about them, Darren. Friday, that's tomorrow, 8 p.m, Fluminense against Al Hilal. It's live on talkSPORT 2. Tell us a bit about both teams. Maybe talk about the managers. Or a couple of the players. Or just key players to look out for.
Okay,
Darren Bent's ones to watch.
Okay, I'm looking forward to.
Are you looking forward to it?
Fluminense. I've already spoke to you about Thiago Silva. Fluminense.
Yeah. How old is he now? 41?
40, right?
40, okay.
I mean, what a player he is. Stepping up. Renato Gaucho, the coach from Brazil of Fluminense.
He'll grill a lot of his opponents, I imagine.
I mean, that's awful for me, by the way. But no, yeah, Thiago Silva's still their guy. Do you know what I mean? That can just hold it all together.
Yeah, hold it all together. Who's teammates?
You've got people like Ganso, good player, number 10. You know what? He's their playmaker, Ganso.
Easy.
Yeah, he's their playmaker.
Because he's got a 10 on his back and you've worked that out?
No, but he's just a good player.
How do you know that?
When I've watched him play before,
okay.
he's a really good player.
Who's he play for?
I like Cano as well. Good player. He's an Argentinian.
Yeah.
He's 37 years old, so he's obviously getting on a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's them from
Al Hilal. Who should we watch out for there? Some big name players.
They've got some big players. Koulibaly.
Before he scored that header, yeah.
Of course, you've got people like Alexander Mitrovic.
Yep.
I mean, he's now 30.
It's not old, Darren.
No, Marcus Leonardo. Now, he was really good. I mean, he's got 17 goals in 24 matches.
All jokes aside, Al Hilal sort of surprised me.
Yeah.
With the way they've been playing football. I thought all the teams from Saudi would be appalling.
Would they beat City?
That's what I'm saying.
And that Marcus Leonardo scored a couple.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. So I'm looking forward to Malcolm, the Brazilian. Quick, can go past people.
He scored number 8. Was it him that scored the goal when they broke from the halfway line?
That's when I looked at City's backline and went, oh my goodness, they need to get a bit of pace in there somewhere.
Yeah, but he's ridiculously fast.
Yeah, ridiculous. He is, but
he went down. Literally, it was Malcolm in the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah, incredible. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Simeone, obviously, Inzaghi is Simeone Inzaghi.
He's the manager.
Who do you manage before? Got him to the Champions League final.
Inzaghi.
Milan.
Oh, okay. Why you put him on the spot like that?
Sorry.
Trying to read what. Saturday 2 a.m. Palmeiras against Chelsea live on talkSPORT. Easy game for Chelsea?
No, absolutely not. I've been really impressed with Palmeiras. Yeah.
Have you? Who's impressed you most from there?
What, out of the whole team?
Yeah.
I mean, I've really liked Jose Lopez, centre forward. He's been quite good. 24 years
Jennifer's
old.
brother, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But no, they're a well organised unit. So yeah, they've all played really well.
How do you know they're organised?
Because I've watched them quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, their manager Albert Ferreira has got him playing some good stuff. He's Portuguese, by the way. He's 46 years old.
Yeah.
He's got him playing some really, really good stuff.
Hold on, he was a player, wasn't he, Albert Ferreira? Wasn't that who Chelsea had?
No, Paulo Ferreira.
Didn't they had an Albert that was a fullback? They had an Albert Ferreira, didn't they, Chelsea?
No, they're Paulo Ferreira. Was it Paulo Ferreira?
Yeah, but they had an Albert.
Albert Ferreira, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
They did, didn't they? Was that him?
I mean, I don't think that was him. I mean, listen, let's check it out. But
I'm quite excited now.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was him. But no, yeah,
fine,
Palmeiras, and then obviously they're playing Chelsea. And Chelsea.
Okay.
Very good side.
Who will win? Sorry, Fluminense against Al Hilal. Who will win that?
I'm going to go Al Hilal.
I think so. Palmeiras against Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Saturday at 5 p.m. PSG against Bayern Munich live on talkSPORT. That'd be a good game.
I mean, do you need me to talk about that?
No, I don't need this one. And Saturday at 9 p.m, Real Madrid against Dortmund, live on talkSPORT 2. Some big games.
Are you going to watch these games? I mean, not the 2 a.m. one, Chelsea, but...
I'll probably watch the 2. Well, I'll be coming in then. So I'll probably watch that one. Yeah, I'd like to watch Madrid Dortmund and PSG. I like watching PSG at the moment.
Good sign.
Their front line is just, I mean, I wouldn't say the best in the world, but
it's up there.
It is up there.
Do you know why it's up
so
there?
exciting
Because they're so fluid. Like Dembele.
I just like everything about Kvaratskhelia. Just look, even the way he wears his socks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just looks so lovely to watch.
You've got him left, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
You've got Doué or Barcola, Dembele.
Doué. What is he? 17?
No, he's not 19. I think.
Is he 19?
But the way they kind of interchange.
Yeah, the Ajax used to do that in the late 70s. You won't remember that, but they had like 11 players that would play anywhere. So if your centre half went forward, someone that's playing like right wing would drop back.
Wow.
They did that. It was incredible to watch.
Who was that? Cruyff?
Ajax, yeah, Cruyff, yeah.
Wow. Footballing.
It was.
But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to this tournament.
If Chelsea win the weekend, they face either Fluminense or Al Hilal in the semis.
Chelsea will get to the final.
Do you think they'll win it? They get 150 million.
I don't know. There's some juggernauts on the other side of the draw.
150, that's obscene money, isn't it?
Going to need it for all these players.
Yeah, you're right. Good work, Darren. That was a look ahead to the Club World Cup with our friends at DAZN. Watch every game in the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up at DAZN.com.
FIFA Club World Cup preview on talkSPORT, presented by DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com to watch every game live and for free.
There haven't been any standout players from the Club World Cup that have made you go, oh, he'd be good at our club.
Do you know, there has been, but for whatever reason, I cannot remember. There's a player, I cannot remember his name, and I thought,
Doesn't that prove my point?
No, but he's somebody that I've looked at and gone, I quite like him. But yeah, you're right.
Do you remember who's the player we bought? He replaced Andrei Cole Popovsky.
Yeah, Karol Poborski.
Yeah. Do you remember he had an unbelievable Euro? Scored that. I think he scored
the scoop, Scoopy.
Yeah. Was that at Villa Park?
No, that was at Old Trafford, wasn't it?
No, it was at Villa Park.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was at Villa Park.
For Czech Republic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it over Peter Schmeichel?
It might have been, you know.
And then we bought him.
And yeah, but he was supposed to be good. He was a good player.
Yeah. He was good, but the problem was he was replacing Andrei Kanchelskis.
Remember when you bought Kleberson?
Was he underrated, Kanchelskis?
Kanchelskis?
Yeah.
Nah, good player.
No, I know he's a good player, but underrated because he was in an unbelievable team, right? I met him. I did an interview with him for MUTV. Mad as a box of frogs.
No, I don't think Andrei Kanchelskis was underrated. Overrated, no way.
No, not overrated, underrated. Like,
yeah, he's better.
We appreciate him as much because he was an unbelievable player.
We've just been blessed with so many great players in this country.
Yeah,
that's why.
What are you looking at, Karol Poborski?
Yeah, but his goal was. No, just carry on. You can go to
that. I'm done now. We're taking your calls. Benty, just before the break, named his current best player in every position Premier League team. If you want to have your say on that, you can. 03717 22 3344.
Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28. The Liverpool forward was involved in a car crash alongside his brother Andre Silva, who also tragically lost his life. It happened in the Spanish province of Zamora at around midnight this morning, local time. The civil guard in Spain says their car left the road while overtaking another vehicle because of a tyre blowout. The Lamborghini then caught fire. Tragically, Jota married his long-term partner Ruti Cardoso less than 2 weeks ago, and they had 3 children together. Photos shared on Jota's social media last week show the newlyweds smiling and gleeful. His 26-year-old brother was also a professional footballer playing for Portuguese second-tier club Penafiel. Jota, of course, was a key member of the Liverpool squad who won the title last season. He also played for clubs including Wolves, Atletico Madrid and Porto. In a statement, Liverpool said they're devastated by his death, calling it tragic and unimaginable. Liverpool FC's hierarchy also said they'll continue to fully support Jota's family, friends and teammates, as well as club staff. To recap, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva have both died in a car crash in Spain. They were aged 28 and 26 respectively.
At the Drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside from 7. Hugh Wozencroft brings you the transfer insiders this evening. He's got Flex alongside him. Whilst over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear Spain against Portugal in the Women's Euros. Right, it's day 2 of the second test between England and India. Edgbaston, watching for talkSPORT. It was really bad before. I think it's getting a little bit better. Sam Ellard.
Well, what was all the panic about? The fourth wicket partnerships was 52 runs. As Darren Bent says, when Joe Root's at the crease, we're in good hands. Now, it has been a nervy day for England. Just got 2 balls left of day 2. An incredible day for India. They've dominated the day. 587 runs they scored first innings, largely dominated by a quite remarkable innings from Shubman Gill. 269 he scored, his first ever double century. There was also contributions today from Ravi Jadeja. He made 89. Also Washington Sundar made 42. India eventually bowled out for 587. You're expecting England to pile on the runs on a pretty good batting surface. 25 for 3 they found themselves. Duckett and Pope both went in consecutive balls, both for a duck. Then Siraj got Crawley, and 25 for 3 you feared the worst. But the score now is 77 for 3 as we go to the last ball of the day. So England tomorrow morning will find themselves 77 for 3. They're trailing by a lot of runs. 510 runs is the deficit.
Thanks, Sam. Now, earlier today we heard the tragic news that Liverpool striker Diogo Jota had passed away at the age of 28. Tributes have, of course, been pouring in all day here on talkSPORT. The Liverpool manager Arne Slot has just paid tribute himself. This is his statement. It's quite long, so bear with me, but of course it's worth listening to. He says, what to say? What can anyone say at a time like this when the shock and the pain is so incredibly raw? I wish I had the words, but I know I do not. All I have are feelings that I know so many people will share about a person and a player we love dearly and a family we care so much about. My first thoughts are not those of a football manager. They are of a father, a son, a brother and an uncle, and they belong to the family of Diogo and Andre Silva, who have experienced such an unimaginable loss. In Slot's statement, he goes on to talk about Jota's playing style and his incredible work rate. It continues, when I first came to the club, one of the first songs I got to know was the one that our fans sing for Diogo. I had not worked with him previously, but I knew straight away that if the Liverpool supporters, who have seen so many great players over the years, had such a unique chant for Diogo, he must have special qualities. Slot finishes off by saying my condolences go to Diogo's wife, their 3 beautiful children, and of course the parents of Diogo and Andre Silva. When the time is right, we'll celebrate Diogo Jota. We will remember his goals and we will sing his song. For the time being, we will remember him as a unique human being and mourn his losses. He will never be forgotten. His name is Diogo. That's a very powerful statement from Arne Slot. And very difficult, of course, for anyone at any club to come out and pay tribute, because you've got to get it bang on. He would have, of course, had a long time to think about this, but having read what he's written, he obviously has got this absolutely bang on. It's such a tough statement, but it just goes to show you, we knew Diogo was not just a great player on the pitch, but obviously loved by the fans. And of course, when the manager comes in and experiences the love from the fans to a certain player, that manager knows they've got someone great on their hands, right?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure, I'm sure someone will correct me, he scored the first goal in Arne Slot's reign at Ipswich, first game of the season. Okay. I'm sure he got the first one. But yeah, incredibly powerful from the manager. It's just hard to put into words, as you said there, because I can understand why he's put it out, because I'm sure people are probably waiting, when's he gonna drop a statement, when's he gonna put the statement out. But I think sometimes you need to let these things kind of breathe and get hold of your emotions first before you speak. And I think, and Liverpool are a football club that I always look at Liverpool as a club of class. So, I mean, they do things really, really well, and he's probably taken the time. He's probably been hurting all day. He's probably wanted to speak all day, but he said, you know what, let me wait for the right time, and then I'll put it out there once I've kind of gathered my thoughts, and then I put the statement out there.
Because a lot of Liverpool fans will be looking for guidance, right, from people like that.
Well, the first thing I did is when I heard about it, I gave it probably about an hour. Then I know social media is not a barometer or anything, but I started looking at different, I went to Wolves' account first, because obviously fantastic player there, went to Liverpool's, and it just took a bit of time to breathe, and then they put the statement out there, and all the clubs, Arsenal put one out, Manchester United have put one out, just talking about Diogo Jota. And I think, again, I keep reiterating it, when something like this happens, tragedy happens, football comes together. It's like they all combine together, and they make powerful statements. They put a blanket over it, and they welcome everyone in, whether you support United, City, Liverpool, whoever you support, you're all welcome, because it's not about football, it's about the person, and sadly his brother. So again, really, really nice and powerful statement there from Arne Slot.
Former Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy joined Jim White earlier today, and he gave his reaction to this morning's horrific news.
Heartbreaking. I was shocked, like all of us. We all love football, Jim, don't we? We all have a passion for it, whether winning, losing, who our team should sign. All seems to become a bit irrelevant. It puts things in perspective when you hear news like this. It's just absolutely heartbreaking for everybody concerned.
Stuart made a good point earlier on, Danny. This is the highs and lows of football. I mean, a young man has lost his life, regardless of the profession he was in. But he plays for an extremely high-profile football club who only recently won the Premier League title. And there were huge celebrations after that. And Danny, now this. Talk about highs and lows.
Well, it's highs and lows of life, unfortunately, not just football. I mean, Liverpool seem to have to deal with tragedies over the years, as you know, Jim, so often. But the Liverpool family will come together. They always do. There's a togetherness in the city with the people after all the things they've been through. The players, the staff, the fans, they're going to have to come together and try and find a way to inspire themselves by using this and try and kick on for Diogo. You know, I've never had to experience as a player losing a fellow player, so I can't even anticipate what some of those players are going through. But he will be remembered so fondly for the goals, for the creativity, for the humility. Supposed to be a great lad. I haven't met him, but I've got friends who work on the staff at Liverpool who speak very well of him. I suppose the best judge of a man, really, when they have setbacks. You know, he's had a couple of really bad injuries. He sometimes isn't in the first 11. And what does he do? He comes on, he works tirelessly, he comes up with important goals, he plays for the team, he plays in any position he's asked. I don't know what the lads think, but, you know, when you see the attitude of a player, it tells you a lot about the man, I think. Well, he will get a wonderful send-off, probably on the opening game. Hopefully his family will be there to see how loved and appreciated he was, because he will be remembered really fondly, because he's created some magic moments in the memories of those Liverpool fans. I mean, everyone will remember him differently, depending on what games you were at or how you remember, which goal you remember. And I think for the players, just mentioning that briefly, you two have played, you understand, you create real bonds with those players you've been with at the club a long time. Not with everyone, but the majority of you go through those emotions, those roller coasters together, winning things, losing finals. There's going to be some help needed for those individual boys who were really close to him, of course, and his Portuguese teammates. Let's not forget them. So I'm sure the club will be very aware of supporting the players as well. You know, it won't just be a simple case of a send-off. There's going to be... We just don't know how it's going to affect certain members of the team. But it's kind of, right now, the football side of it, I find it difficult to comprehend the conversation around that, because it's just not important right now.
That was Danny Murphy on White and Jordan from earlier on this morning. I should say the tributes have been fantastic, as they always are on talkSPORT at such sad times, not just from famous sports people, but from you, the listener, as well. I always, at the end of the day, go upstairs and record links for the talkSPORT Daily podcast. If you're a Liverpool fan or a football fan and you've missed some of the tributes, if you download that from tomorrow morning, I'm sure it'll be full up of everything that we've played out throughout the day on talkSPORT. Now, Belgium, they're taking on Italy in the Women's Euros. Watching for talkSPORT is the Moose, Ian Abrahams.
And it's still Belgium 0, Italy 1. Caruso's goal on 44 minutes. She, by the way, had a drive that went wide this second half. Direlli had a flick that was saved by the goalkeeper on the line. And Cambiaghi, just a couple of minutes ago, inside the penalty area, curled a shot wide with her left foot. If she'd have scored that, the points would have been safe for Italy. To be fair, Belgium have really dropped off in this second half. The Italians look like they're going to be heading for a win in their opening game. Of course, don't forget Spain and Portugal in this group. They meet tonight live on talkSPORT 2. 9 minutes of normal time to go. Belgium 0, Italy 1.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. The new and iconic Big Arch has landed at McDonald's, featuring an unbeatable lineup of juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and its very own signature sauce. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
It's been a real tough day, as you would imagine, for everyone involved, reacting to the just horrific news of Diogo Jota's passing, just 28 years old. We started the show with tributes from footballers, football fans, and more importantly, you, the listener. We'll end today's show in the way in which we started it, with more calls from you. So if you've missed your chance and you thought, well, I won't be able to get through, now is your opportunity for one last chat about it on our show. Certainly we'll carry on taking calls throughout the evening on talkSPORT. But if you want to have your say on Drive, 03717 22 3344. Listen to Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent is here. A reminder, following us at 7, Hugh Wozencroft brings you the Transfer Insiders this evening. Hugh Wozencroft has Flex alongside him. Over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear Spain. They take on Portugal in the Women's Euros. Right, back to the tennis. Day 4 well and truly underway. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Bit of a sigh of relief for the fans of Jack Draper on court number 1, because he's just taken the third set 6-1, having trailed Marin Cilic 6-4, 6-3. The Croatian hustling the world number 4 through those first 2 sets, but Draper resetting and retaking control. So he's back in the match. We'll start the 4th set very soon. Here on centre court, Yannick Sinner just underway against Alexander Vukic, where earlier Iga Swiatek, the former world number 1, booked her place in the 3rd round.
Thanks, as always, Lisa. Now, the reunion of the century is literally just around the corner. We're giving you the chance to win a pair of Oasis tickets in Manchester on July the 19th. Oasis Live 25 is sold out, but of course, talkSPORT can get you in. And that's not all. Alongside the tickets, we'll put you up for a night in a hotel and put $5,000 in your back pocket, completely tax-free. Listen up right now for everything you need to know and how to enter.
On iArcade, you have to be over 18 to enter in the UK, excluding Northern Ireland, for the chance to win a pair of tickets to the most electrifying rock and roll reunion of the century, a hotel stay and $5,000 spending money. Text the word Oasis to 83338 by Monday the 7th of July at 11 p.m. and you'll be entered into the draw to go supersonic this summer. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or post your name and number to Oasis Prize Draw, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP, to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 10th of July. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Good luck, yeah? Sorted.
Now, this Saturday, the Lionesses get their Euro campaign underway when they face France. It's live right here on talkSPORT. Defender Esme Morgan has been speaking to talkSPORT's Courtney Sweetman-Kirk today, and she was asked about how the squad are feeling ahead of that opening game.
Yeah, looking forward to feeling the intensity of a tournament. I think it always just feels different when you hear the anthems and you're aware that it's that level of competition. And in terms of France themselves, they've got such an incredible squad, lots of depth, lots of experience of major tournaments, some really, really dangerous attacking players, both in the forward line and throughout the team. Obviously, their fullbacks like to get on too. So we're expecting sort of fast-paced, high-intensity, direct style, and we'll be prepared for that.
You're on air after that game.
I'm really looking forward to it.
You're doing the phone-in?
Yeah. Me and Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Nobbs are doing it. Are you excited about it? So, I mean, that first game, is it for any England team, right, at any level, is it just do not lose? Is that it?
A little bit. But I do you know what? Because I've done a little bit, but not much with the women's game. After seeing how it absolutely exploded after they won it 4 years ago, and how incredible it was, how nice it was to be in this country when it was such a real feel-good factor. Like, I'm delighted to be working on it. I'm looking forward to watching England play. I know how difficult it's going to be for them to get out of the group, but I think with certainly some of the players in this England squad, and certainly with the Arsenal ones who've just won the Champions League, and the ones that have played abroad that have won Champions Leagues before, I think at one point Kira Walsh as well, she was like the record buy for anyone in the women's game. I'm just looking forward to seeing how well they can cope with the kind of pressure, because I don't care what anyone says, when you're the holders of any competition, there's always huge pressure on you. When people are looking at you going, well, they were the best last year, the last time this come around.
Everyone wants
to beat them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, it should be really, really good.
Okay, should be indeed. We've only got about 4 or 5 minutes left. It's been a tough old day for everyone involved in sport, because, of course, we woke up with the horrifically sad news that Diogo Jota had sadly passed away at the age of 28. And all day on talkSPORT, not just our show, but all day we've been inviting you and offering you to come on and share your wonderful memories. Ian's a Liverpool fan, joins us now. Hi, Ian. Ian, are you there?
Hey, yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can, loud and clear. How are you doing today?
Yeah, well, not after what I heard from my friend earlier when I was at work, it's just horrific. You don't expect, I mean, anyone of that age, is that stature like Jota's pass away so suddenly. It's just so sad. It's making me really emotional just talking about it now, to be honest with you.
It's a tough old day for everyone. How old are you, Ian, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 36. I am. I've got 3 kids of my own. I think a couple of them are probably Diogo's kids' ages as well. And I mean, I've just got home on the drive home and to the front door, and my middle son's just obviously he's come running down the stairs, obviously ready for bed, and my wife just basically said he said he won't go to bed until he read him his bedtime story, and I've honestly absolutely crumbled, mate. It's just
You don't realise how precious life is, right? We wake up every day and we all take it for granted, and then all of a sudden you hear horrific news like this. And
do you know what it is as well, Andy? It's one of them where I think when obviously when something happens to anybody, it's obviously horrific, as you put it, right? But when someone's ill, you almost go, okay, you not start to come to terms with it. You start to go, okay, well, at some point they're not very well. Like, you know, when you hear reports of some of the older players,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But then when it happens, like it's done, obviously a car crash or something that's really like horrific,
and it's taken way beyond,
like 28 years old, and then you realise what he's left behind in terms of obviously he's lost his brother, but then his mother, his grandparents, his wife, his kids. I think that's when it really hits home, and you go, oh, like it's awful, and I can understand why Ian's feeling that way.
Ian, he's still there. Just quickly, he's still there,
Yeah.
Ian. I'm just,
Yeah.
you understandably sound really down about it. Have you got people around you can talk to?
Yeah, of course. I've got my wife who's come through when I come through the door and stuff like that. But like Benty said a minute ago, it just makes you put life into perspective. I mean, you sit at home if you don't manage to go to the game, and all jokes aside, you're swearing at the telly, and your players missed a chance and stuff like that, and you haven't come away with a result, and then you come away now after hearing the news like that, and you just think, why do you do it? It's so more important than just football. I mean, the Wolves fans have been absolutely class. That guy's call earlier about the guy who was fitting the blinds. It's just so beautiful to hear it, because I've got quite a couple of Wolves fan friends at work, and they all said he's just a lovely bloke, and you can just tell his body language on the pitch, his body language in interviews, his mannerisms. You can just tell he was just such a humble guy.
Ian, thank you for your call, pal.
Yeah, thanks, guys. All the best.
I wish you well. Let's take one last call. Tammy joins us. Hi, Tammy.
Hi there, guys.
How are you, Tam?
Yeah. I just want to say first and foremost, I feel like the way you've conducted it has been really good. I mean, like, your segment of talkSPORT is always one I look forward to. You and Benny having so much banter, and obviously when I found, like, I'm a Man United fan, and when I found out about the news in the gym in the morning, I was sad. And you think to yourself, obviously it's really upsetting and it can happen to anyone. But I'm really sad, and I think I'm a Man United fan. He plays for Liverpool, but it's not even about that, because we are all fans of football first. Before, we support a club, we're all fans of football. And Diogo Jota is someone, if I saw walking down the street, he's someone that I would want to talk to, want to take a picture with, want to speak with. So it's very sad. I think it's really good that the football community, can come together and obviously just show his family how much he is loved by the entire football. And football, the actual game, it doesn't matter, because it's about a human being. But if I do speak about him as a player, he's essential. You need players like Diogo Jota to win titles, because they're not always going to be on your starting 11, but they're going to come in. They're going to come in the 60th minute. They're going to score a goal. They're going to, start when maybe your main player is injured, and they're going to, put on a performance. I mean, Man United, we had that in Solskjaer. Even if you look to recently, Man City, they had that in Alvarez, and you can see how much it affected them. Even though he wasn't starting ahead of Haaland when he goes to Atletico, you can see. So you need those type of players, and he was that player. He was, an excellent, finisher. I remember people used to say that he's the best finisher that they've had since Fowler. So yeah, it's just really sad. And like I said, found out in the gym this morning, and I'm actually really downbeat. But listening to you guys, like I said, I'll come to you guys, for the banter and stuff like that. But the way you've conducted it, has been,
Thanks,
really good. So thank you very much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for your kind words. In fact, thanks to everyone that's taken the time to phone in. I know it's difficult. Some people want to phone and don't have the strength, and others, have got the strength and need a little chat. So either way, if you've been listening and you didn't get round to making the call, you did. Either way, we appreciate your support. It's been a tough old day. Listen, thank you for listening. The tributes will continue on talkSPORT. My one piece of advice today is if you do one thing between now and you go to bed is tell someone you love them. Thanks for listening. Have a good evening. Be safe, everyone.